record, so we're live.
Hello, hello, hello. We are live. And I am just fixing this
The mic situation. We're trying a new
setup
here, so we're not sitting like ass clowns.
Yeah.
That's good.
And now there's a hot seat. So.
And now there's a hot seat with Andrew MacDonald. He's on fire right now.
Overman Elise, Christopher Lim,
and
Mr. Andrew MacDonald.
Holistic Entrepreneur Live. Welcome back, folks. How's it going, buddy?
It is going very well. So
I want to give you a huge cheers.
Big cheers to you guys.
Cheers
for helping me get it done.
For those who haven't been following,
exciting episode today.
Yeah, this is exciting. We have a lot to celebrate. Here, let me move this camera a little bit because I want to be in the shot too.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
There.
We're all still here.
So if you guys haven't been following, really, then this whole story behind Andrew MacDonald is really something that you might be able to relate to if you're someone who's, I guess, sick of your job, which we've all been through. And knowing that you want to be a full-time entrepreneur and having all these hurdles, emotional, psychological, financial hurdles in the way. And I'm sure a lot of people are going through this exact same thing. And that's why we're really excited to have you on.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so welcome.
From all the previous guests on the show, I've got so much value out of it, and that's really helped me with my journey. So hopefully, whatever I say and share can maybe click with someone and help them.
Well, that's the
do
point,
the same.
Right? Little nuggets of wisdom. Hopefully that somebody out there, out of the millions of viewers watching, they pick up that nugget and they turn it into something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you've been watching for a while, right?
Yeah, since I don't know if it was the first one. Maybe I found out after a couple episodes you guys were doing it. But I mean, when I first started out with the rent-to-own business last year, you guys were so helpful with everything, and I've always been kind of following what you guys are up to because there's so much wisdom and truth that you guys come out with, right? So awesome. I started watching the show. Sometimes I'm home Thursdays, right? So I'll watch it live. Sometimes you're competing with, the Leafs trying to make the playoffs. So maybe I would try streaming both. But yeah, I've been watching whether it's live or on Sunday nights while kind of just doing some chores and getting ready for the week. And it's always interesting. It's a different tangent every time. You never know what you're going to get.
So why are you watching? So tell us a little bit about, because I guess we've been getting some good feedback, and since you're on the show, you're one of the first real people on the show who watched all of the episodes.
Yeah, probably one of the first groupies to come on.
Yeah, one of the first groupies.
But yeah, so I started watching the show. I started to realize that all this stuff is really about your mindset, right? So the kind of guests that you had on, you had Mike and Joey on as some of the earlier guests, and both of them are my business coach. So obviously I want to tune in and see what they have to say and the kind of stuff that you guys have been talking about, even with nutrition and everything else. That's really important with the whole holistic thing. And people don't really get it, I think, and it can sound kind of cheesy, but there's a lot to it when you start to really put it into practice. And when you start to get it, there is no separation. Everything is one. Like your nutrition affects your health. Your business affects your health. Everything affects your health, and your health affects your business, right? It's all related into this one thing. So every topic and every different tangent, there's always something to learn.
And that's the thing, right? It's not like some exclusive club, like this mindset or the way we do things. It's like everybody has their own way of looking at things. I don't know if you guys noticed, I put a couple of questions on Facebook.
Past couple days?
Yeah.
I've seen that.
So one question was, in one sentence, define success. And then the other day I asked, define wealth. And the people's answers go all the way from, family and having exactly what you need, to achieving the goals that you set out to staying in integrity with your values and stuff like that. And what's beautiful about it is that it's all up to you. It's your definition. And I think a lot of people get caught up in someone else's definition. Society's definition, or their parents' idea of what success, what wealth is. And I guess when you have the ability to have your own definition and you're living up to it yourself, then you're at a whole different level, because it really doesn't matter what other people think or say, and you're not ashamed to walk around in shorts and a t-shirt and
and 5 fingers
and 5-finger shoes, and look like a crazy person, because you're comfortable, you're secure with what you're doing, you're happy, you're fulfilled with what you're up to, and what everyone else thinks really doesn't matter.
That's a great point, especially in today's day and age. You see people who are embracing the concept of being a holistic entrepreneur really are doing it on their own terms. It's not what somebody else's version of success is. It's not Donald Trump money or Warren Buffett money, or having 100,000 companies like Richard Branson. It's for us. It's, am I healthy? Am I spending time with my loved ones, my friends, my family? Am I secure? How do I feel inside? Am I doing things that I want to do with my life? And a common theme for a lot of us holistic entrepreneurs are, we are wealthy on our own terms, and that's a huge part of being a holistic entrepreneur today. I mean, today it's not, we're not living up to what our parents want us to do or what other people want us to do. We're doing things the way we want to do.
It's more self-directed. Yeah, it's like you make your own map.
And there's more to it than just the money piece, right? So a lot of people measure success in terms of money. So as an example, when I was in university, I set big goals for myself, right? I was already reading stuff like Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad Poor Dad and whatever, and I had a very successful mentor at the time. And I set goals for myself, like having $100 million net worth, right? And yeah, okay, I can buy a yacht with a helicopter pad, but like, is that really the definition of success? No, right? It's more about being happy. So I think you guys had shared like a John Lennon quote, right? And it's the story about his kindergarten teacher telling him that he'd failed the assignment, and he's like, no, the point of life is to be happy. Something to that end, right?
Yeah.
And when you really
what do you want to be
when
you grow up? And he puts happy.
Yeah.
And she says, you don't get the question. And he says, you don't get
life.
You don't get life.
You don't get
Yeah, exactly. And it's so right coming from a kindergarten kid. And when you look back to when you were younger and all the things you liked to do, it was all about being happy. You didn't need money. All the fun stuff didn't take money. Like maybe if you're a lucky kid, you got to go for a ride in a Ferrari or something. But honestly, it's all those fun things you can do and how you spend your time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you know what? If you want to make $100 million, then make $100 million. Yeah. If that's what you want to achieve, then.
But if that's what makes you happy, because I think too many people fall into the trap of, well, wealth is going to make me happy, right? The more money I have, the happier I'm going to be. Yeah. And then you look at these studies
or I need $100 million to be happy
before I could be happy.
That was a big thing for me. It's like I need to get here, then I'll be happy. And then you get to that point and you're like, okay, well, a bit more and then I'll be happy, right?
We put all these conditions on ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like I'll only feel good when X happens, or when I achieve or acquire or meet or whatever it is. And it's like, it's in the future. And all there is now. And if you can't access that right now, like feeling successful, being happy and fulfilled right now, then you don't deserve any more than that. Yeah. If you can't experience the gratitude for what you already have, you do not deserve anything more than that.
Yeah.
And that's how it works.
And when you start to reframe things, you realize that the mindset's so important, right? So with my job, even though I wasn't totally happy with what I'm doing, and I know I eventually want to leave and eventually do something entrepreneurial, I started to look at it and say, what can I be thankful for? Well, over the last 4 years, I've developed amazing analytical skills. I'm great with Excel. That applies well to my real estate, right? Over the past 4 years, I improved people skills. I realized a lot of things that I don't want to be doing and a lot of things that don't make me happy. So those are all good things, right? And I can start to be grateful for that.
When I met you, you weren't like as outspoken.
No,
or you were like pretty reserved.
Yeah.
And
even that's been a process.
And then you did Toastmasters and you did a bunch of workshops and courses.
So 3 years ago, I never would have been on this show because it just wouldn't have happened. So when I went to the first RAIN event, Don Campbell told he did an exercise.
For people who don't know what RAIN is, it's the Real Estate Investment Network.
Yeah.
And they have, 3,000 members?
Yeah, across Canada.
And they meet every month to talk about the economic fundamentals and how it impacts your real estate portfolio. And that's actually where we met.
Yeah, through RAIN. And so Don did an exercise. And in the Ontario group, there's probably 300 or 400 people in attendance any given month. And then I think at the Acre events, it's probably close to 400. So anyways, he did an exercise and he said, for everyone in the room who's shy, put your hand up, right? And some people are so shy, they won't even put their hand up. So it's a little bit better than that. And I'm like, okay, I'll at least admit to being shy. I'll put my hand up. Then he goes, okay, now everyone stand up. Right. And I'm
everybody who's shy.
Yeah, everyone who's got their hand up, everyone who's shy, stand up, right? And now you start to feel awkward. You're like, I'm standing and I'm one of the shy people and everyone's looking at me.
People know that you're the shy one.
Yeah, oh my God, what am I doing? Yeah, exactly. So he did this exercise. He gets you to stand up and then he just flat out said, like, you don't have to be shy. No one at your table knows that you're shy. No one else in the room knew you were shy till you put your hand up and said, I'm a shy person. Right? So that really clicked for me. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to be that person if I don't want to.
You label it yourself.
Yeah. And at the same time, my performance review at my first job was kind of like, yeah, your analytical skills are great. Everything's good. We're happy with your work, but you got to work on the presentation skills, right? You have to be more outgoing and connect with people and kind of push the recommendations forward. So I said, okay, well, I'm getting some feedback from both of these areas. That's kind of a block to my own success. I'm never going to be able to get investment partners if I can't go out there and talk to people. Yeah,
Exactly.
If I can't introduce myself to people. So I really made it a point that year. My goal for the whole year was to become more outgoing. So when I would go to Rain, for example, I would go and talk to every single speaker on the stage. Like when Mark Loeffler did his rent-to-own presentation, I went up, shook his hand, talked to him a little about his presentation. Because really, you see the people at the front up on this pedestal, and they're the scariest person in the room. So I'm like, how do I overcome shyness? Well, I go jump off the deep end and go talk to them.
Right away, yeah.
But there's that little crutch, right? Because I'm there for real estate. So at least I have something in common.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to connect with people and just start doing that, that really helped me overcome shyness. I signed up for Toastmasters. I became the VP of Public Relations for my club.
Oh, wow.
So I had to go out and I was writing press releases for the newspaper and trying to attract new members and stuff. So I just, that's like a small step, right? I just kind of pushed myself out there and made myself get over this fear.
Mm-hmm.
And
you kept pushing through it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say I'm the most outgoing, extroverted person. I'm still...
But you can turn it on when it's needed.
Yeah, I'm still fairly introverted. But when there's something to talk about, like real estate, where we have that mutual interest, it's easy now.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So it's really giving you the confidence to get out there, introduce yourself, talk to prospective investors and business people.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say...
So how old are you?
I'm 26 right now.
26?
Yeah.
So you're younger than me.
Well, I don't know.
Well,
when's your birthday?
we're
We're both
probably a couple
85,
of
right?
months. Yeah, you're a couple of months.
You just turned.
I just turned.
When are you
27.
December.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
we're both 1985.
Yeah, close enough.
So here's one thing. I get this a lot. I'm sure you probably get this a lot. It's just for your age, the type of conversations that you're having, I guess the level of depth in your conversations and your wisdom and what you're pursuing, it's pretty grand.
And different.
It's grand, it's different, and especially for people at that age.
Yeah.
Tell me about like how that all started. I mean, did you start thinking about this at an early age?
Yeah.
Were your parents entrepreneurs? Like, how did this
Well,
all...
okay, so I was going to go back a little bit. Let's go way back.
Let's go way back. And while you're
Way
starting that,
back.
I'm going to plug my computer.
Sure. So when I was a younger kid, in school and everything, I remember I would always go to the bank with my dad to run errands, and there was like a bank machine, and I didn't even have a debit card, but I was punching numbers in, trying to figure out how it worked, trying to get some money out of the machine. Like I always knew I wanted to make money, right? So I was always interested into that. I had like a piggy bank. I'd save money. My dad opened my first bank account for me when I was maybe 3, and I think he did it because at RBC they had this thing where you just get $5 to open a bank account for your kid. My dad's like, sweet, five bucks for free, right? It's a good start. So we did that. I'd get my allowance, yeah. And my parents really taught me the value of money, right? Like I wanted a new Nintendo or something, and they would say, okay, well, sorry, it's not in the budget. I'm like, okay, well, what can I do to earn it? Can I do more chores? Can I do this or that? And old MacDonald did have a farm, so I started to do chores on the farm.
Your dad or your grandfather?
My grandfather.
Your grandfather.
Yeah.
Old MacDonald.
Yeah. Old MacDonald. Old MacDonald literally had a farm. Yeah. So there's a cattle farm, so I started helping out doing chores and stuff, and I'd earn like $2 a week maybe just to help him with the chores and whatever. It's something. It's getting towards that Nintendo at the end of the year. Maybe I probably would have got it for Christmas anyways, but you know, it's something, and my parents really taught me the value of money. Then I remember in grade, probably around 3rd grade, my parents and I were looking at like buying a new house, right? Because we had, my dad had just sold our old house in Thornhill, and we were looking at new model homes and stuff. And he would always, and I really wanted to move because I thought it'd be so cool to get a new house. So I go, okay, we're shopping. My dad's like, I don't like this one. The floor plan's not right. And there's a garage stuck out in front of the house. Like he didn't like when the garage was out in the front. So I started modeling floor plans and changing them and drawing them out on graph paper and stuff when I was like 10. So my backup job was to be an architect. Yeah, I've always really liked buildings and real estate. And like even in kindergarten, I remember we had a workshop. And
that's what you would draw, structures.
Build things. And I would like drawing structures, and I've always been interested in real estate, making money, and computers. Those are like the
and you didn't
things.
know why,
and sports.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
It was just something inside of you. They had an urge for it. Yeah.
And then growing up, I had a very wealthy friend, and we would hang out, and his parents were like miles.
What do you mean wealthy? Like, how would you define that?
18,000 square foot house on probably the highest point in Richmond Hill, like hugely wealthy. Buy any Richmond car, Hill. Like 3 luxury cars. Like they spent probably more on double on landscaping per year than I spend on rent right now. Right. So to go through that and see what is actually available, that really kind of opened my eyes. And I'm like, well, they can have that. Why can't I have that?
So that created a huge distinction.
Yeah.
So you've never seen that much.
Yeah, it was just it was extravagant.
You didn't
right?
even get it. Where you're just like, wow.
Yeah, how is this done?
What do your parents do?
Yeah.
Like, what'd you
and at
ask?
that point, I realized it's not a job, right? Because my dad had a career. He was very loyal, and he worked there for 30 years, and he treated our family very well and made sure I was taken care of and could go to school and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a step up, I guess, from the farm, where it's kind of a struggle because it's not a profitable business
here
unless you're doing like a factory farm. So I realized there was this huge gap, and at some point I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur and do business and make something bigger. So then if we sort of fast forward to high school.
So it was like you knew that a job wouldn't get you to whatever potential you wanted to reach.
Yeah, I always kind of knew that, right?
You'd have to go out on your own.
Yeah. And then in high school, I started to think a little more about careers, because you have to pick what school you want to go to and what major you're going to do. So I decided to do business. It was either business or computers. And I thought, yeah, I like computers, but I don't know if that's like the best use of my talents, and if that's always going to be, you know, where I want to be. But I've always liked business. So I said, business is versatile. I'll do business.
Mm-hmm.
So I went into that. In university, between first and second year, I started to think more about what am I actually going to do when I graduate? Because even in
what do you do with a business degree, right?
Yeah. So even in the business program, you got to pick your major. Do you want to do finance, marketing, operations, accounting? You got to pick, right? So I started to think more. What do I want to do? And down the road, what's that going to be? So at that point, I started to talk more with people online and do a little bit of research. And I met this guy on a forum who ended up being kind of a mentor. And he gave me a whole list of books to read. So on there was like Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Magic of Thinking Big, all kind of like self-help stuff and a bit of a financial twist. So I read through the entire Rich Dad, Poor Dad series probably before the end of second year. And
wow.
I have a friend I met up with for lunch like maybe 4 weeks ago, and we hadn't seen each other for a couple of years. And he's like, oh, what are you doing now? And when I told him about the whole real estate thing, he was like, oh, that makes sense. I remember you skipping class to read these books, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad books, right?
Wow.
Yeah. And
so
it was
did
like...
you even remember that you used to do that?
No, I totally forgot about that. So it brought it up, and
you.
I'm like, yeah, it all makes sense now,
It's
right?
one of those things
it
where it's like,
does make
oh yeah, Andrew said it, and now he's doing it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly, right? So that was...
so that was university.
That was a good flashback. Between the third and fourth year of university, we opened a mortgage brokerage. And my friend in Montreal...
Who opened a mortgage brokerage?
We opened a branch office of a mortgage brokerage.
Okay.
So me and one of my friends. And we had another friend in Montreal who was doing this because we wanted to make money, right? It was like, at that point, it was like shiny object syndrome. It's like, oh, I can make money doing this or that or whatever. And it just sounded like, okay, yeah, we can make a lot of money doing this.
But you, at that age, you could just start a mortgage company?
Well, we opened a branch office for them. We hired loan processors.
Oh, okay.
And then we'd have people in a call center making phone calls, getting interest in the business, walking them through the loan process, and it was all U.S. refinancing. So we got into that towards the end of the U.S. refinancing.
Oh, God.
But I learned so much through that business about how
so that was
to
your
run a
first
business
of your own.
That was my first business. So we broke even for the summer. Didn't make $1 million as we had hoped, but it was a very fun process.
Usually the first attempt turns out that way.
And then sitting there interviewing people who were 40 when I was 17 was kind of like, yeah, I definitely want to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to be on that side of the table forever.
That is
right?
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's a great lesson.
Yeah.
At 17.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And all the stuff
So what
about
happened to
just
that
how
company?
business runs. We just stopped after the summer. I think my
Just didn't make sense
friend's
after
company
that?
kept going until sort of the end of the US refinancing boom. And then he's moved on to a different company, which is, I think it's interactive mobile advertising or something. So it's kind of on to the next trend, but he's a really smart guy and he's doing well for himself again.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So anyways, all these books and everything, it kind of started the knowledge. And
What was the key book? Was it Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
I don't know if it was more that or Think and Grow Rich. Like when I first read Think and Grow Rich, I was like 17, and it was it's so out there, and I was like, it didn't really make too much sense to me. But some of the stuff I picked up,
like when I first read it, I'm just like, oh my god, the language is just so
old.
It's old school, and like some of it just doesn't make sense, and then it's out there at the same time.
Yeah, like it's like nothing you've read before.
Yeah.
But Rich Dad Poor Dad is very like solid in terms of the principles it teaches and stuff,
like,
and it all makes sense.
Yeah,
it's an easy read. So I read through the first 3 Rich Dad Poor Dads. There's Rich Dad Poor Dad, Cash Flow Quadrant, and Rich Dad's Guide to Investing, I think. So the 3 of those kind of like laid the foundation for me. And I always knew I wanted to do something like this. Mm-hmm. So then when I graduated from school, the obvious choice is, okay, go and get a job, right? So I did that for a little while.
So this was just 6 years ago. A couple years ago.
Yeah, 6 years ago.
6 years ago?
Yeah.
So you graduated 6 years when you got a job.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're in what has happened in the last 6 years of your life.
Yeah, so let's go through that. So first, for a year, I worked at CB Richard Ellis. It was a big commercial real estate firm. That was around the time of the recession and kind of the financial crisis, I guess. So they weren't really hiring a lot and they weren't making any moves. So I wanted to move out of my job, which was sort of an accounts payable role, into something bigger and better with more of a career potential. And I knew I liked real estate, so I was happy there. So I went around talking to VPs in different groups, and just like my boss was happy to help me out because she knew I wouldn't stay there forever. So she put me in touch with all these people, and no one was hiring. Then I got this opportunity to go get into credit cards and get more analytical experience. So I took that, did that for 4 years, realized I didn't really like where I was at. I wasn't, progressing enough in my career. So I decided I would switch jobs earlier this year.
So that was, okay.
Not just this year?
How did we jump through those 6 years so quickly?
Oh, because I'm not even in the mood of complaining about things
Okay.
anymore. I'm over that, right? Like,
Yeah,
I don't even want to tell.
drama.
I don't even want to tell you why I hate my job. It's done, right? Like,
Yeah, it's already over.
I just didn't like that, and I knew I wanted to do something bigger and better. And there's more value I can create in the world with the skills I have. So why am I sitting there doing something I don't like? So, anyways, 4 years, wasn't feeling that. I switched earlier this year in February.
You switched companies.
Yeah, I switched companies. I stayed in the same industry, and I knew that one of two things would happen. Either I'd get really excited about having this new start, which was the case for probably the first 3 months, because I was doing well, even though I was like half in, half out.
Did I say this anything like this to you?
We spoke right. We spoke right when we were starting.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure when you got your job, I was like, "What are you doing?
Yeah, why are you doing this?
You're
Like,
gonna get sick
I know.
and hate this job."
But I thought if I
said that, didn't I? I'm pretty sure.
did.
I remember this.
Yeah, you told me so. I know.
I know.
So for 3
I'm just doing it because we're live on air. So
yeah, you may as well tease me in front of everyone.
I want to record it and admission of proof.
Yeah.
Admission of guilt. Sorry.
No, you were right all along. But I thought either one of two things will happen. Either I'm going to get excited, I'm going to like it, I'm going to do well, progress in my career, and continue my business part-time. Or I'm going to find out, really, I don't like doing this, right? It's not just the environment I was in, it's the work. It was number two, right? So it wasn't the environment at all. In fact, I think
It wasn't the environment at all.
Well, it's not like the people. Like, it wasn't so much that they pushed me away. Like, I liked working with these people. It's just that I don't like the type of work I was doing. And then I worked for a bigger bank and it became more bureaucratic and it just became really frustrating.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I start to get more business opportunity on the side. So one is kind of becoming weighed down. The other one, there's all this potential and I'm like just too scared to make the leap to make this one really work, right?
Because at that time you had already started with the rental business.
Yeah. So I've been investing in real estate for 2 or 3 years now. And then just last summer, I was looking for a way to get more passive income because I said, if I make $100 or $200 a door, it's going to take me forever to get out of my job and do this full time.
That's
so
per month.
Yeah.
$100 to $200 per month. Yeah.
Per month, per door, right? That's a lot of properties. So I sat next to Mike Gillespie on the bus at the rain tour. And we were chatting and I was looking at his student rentals and that kind of sparked something. It's like, yeah, that's possible. Other people are doing it. Like, here's a guy sitting right next to me. Then you guys were looking to teach some people how you were doing what you were doing, but you wanted someone to come through, someone detail oriented to go through the process, make sure it makes sense.
Yeah.
So I signed up for that and the rest is history, right? Like, I did my first deal in 6 weeks. I loved the business because it was so win-win-win. And I'm like,
6 weeks,
that's what I'm doing.
You did your first transaction.
Yeah.
And what happened?
And I don't know, it's the best real estate deal I've ever done. That first one that I did, that was fantastic. And so I got really excited about the business. I saw how win-win it is for everyone involved if you do it right. Like, there are there's rent to not own companies, which is a big problem. But if you do it right, it's a real win-win investment, and I like that. So I said that's what I'm focusing on, and that's what I've been doing over the past year. So I bought a few more. And as the job is starting to weigh more on me, like, do I really want to do this? My passive income is going up from these properties I'm buying, right? And it's starting to bridge the gap and it's getting closer and closer. So let me just cut to the real kicker of how I came to quit. So what was the tipping point? So a year ago, I said July 4th, 2012, that's going to be my Independence Day from my job, right? And I kind of put that out there. A year ago, I had no idea how that was even possible. I had like such small passive income and I was so worried. I didn't even believe it. This year rolls around. Now I have pretty good cash flow from 2 or 3 properties. and I'm thinking, okay, it's not what I wanted before I quit my job. It's not the number I set, but it's possible. I went back, I looked at my numbers, and I'm like, I can survive for a year if Hannah doesn't do another deal or I don't do another deal. And I said,
so you have a 1 year buffer.
yeah.
Okay.
Without going into debt, without taking equity out of any of my properties or anything.
Without having to sell
You can survive
anything.
for a year.
Yeah, it's a pretty good safety net. But I'm so conservative that I
Do
still
you realize
didn't
how
want to
many
do it.
people do not have that?
Oh, I know. And they have
There's a
kids to worry
handful.
about, and they have all kinds of other debt, and it's
And
more
they
of a
still do
mess.
it.
And I'm sitting here like,
And there's some people who still
Yeah.
there's some people who still jump into
I couldn't
their
wait.
business.
I was like, fuck this.
at
I'm
some
out of
point you
this
just
job.
know, right? So I sat with Oliver a couple of days before I quit my job for lunch. And
not a couple.
What? How
Not a
long was
couple.
it?
It was the day before.
The day before. Okay. Yeah.
Was it? I think it was like about 2 days
No,
in there.
it was the day after. The day after.
Yeah,
you
no,
text
yeah, I
messaged
remember.
me.
I called you the next day. I'm like,
Yeah.
you push
yeah,
the
that's
buttons
right.
and
Because we did
it
the
worked.
podcast the day after. I remember that.
So we sat for lunch and I realized it was because your brother had something downtown and you were there exactly a year earlier, and we had the
For the
same
same-
conversation a year earlier, and I'm like, what's gonna change if I don't quit my job? I'm gonna have the same conversation next year.
Every year we'll have lunch
I'm
once
like,
a year.
what am
and
I
it's gonna
doing?
Be the same. Andrew, why are you still in your job?
Yeah.
Andrew, why have you not followed through on what you promised on yourself to yourself?
So then I came up with this whole list. I'm like, what am I missing out on by staying here? And that's when it became really powerful. Like, there's all this potential. And I actually wrote it out, and I just started writing, right? And actually really thinking. And then it became so apparent to me what this like little safety that I was clinging to was holding me back from. It's like the monkey with his hand in the
What was
cage,
holding
right?
you back? What kept you from just quitting your job?
Just
you have 12 months that you
it's
can just
fear.
float on, and like there's proof. When you first started your business, you were super motivated, on fire. There's some more emotional proof telling you like you're in the right direction. Like you're feeling good, everything's going good.
Yeah.
The results from that have given you enough cash flow to survive
Yeah.
for that long period of time. And then there's the toxic acid type of environment of your job.
Yeah.
telling
So I
you,
go
"This
there, I
is all
come
wrong."
home, I can't do my own work because I'm stressed out, and I've dealt with people who move at a snail's pace all day, and then I go home and I'm trying to make things happen in lightning time. Yeah. There's that whole thing. But really it's all about, it was just fear and belief, right? So I didn't have enough belief that I could really make that work. And then when I tapped into what I had done before and all the things I'd actually accomplished, that was an exercise that Joey got me to do. That was really good because I went back over the last year, and when I actually wrote it down, the amount of things that I accomplished, like getting my business started, buying 3 more properties, getting married, going on the vacation of my life,
So you started
starting
taking
a new
inventory
job,
of your recent success.
starting a new job, getting a new car, like just the change in mindset. Like if I can do that in a year, doing the
While
business
employed.
part-time. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's part
What
of
could I do
employed.
full-time, right? And then I went back
I think
2
that's the
years.
thing that people don't
and then I
realize
went-
is that they want to start a business and they want to have it take over their full-time income, which is a nice
Yeah.
idea. I mean, I'm sure people do it successfully, but it's like you're spending 40 to 50 hours on a job that you're not passionate about and
Plus
you're
most
planning
of
on
them,
leaving.
plus most of them commute like at least 10 hours a week.
Yeah. And then you're trying to spend 5 to 10 hours a week on your business. Do you like, is it going to add up? Like, is it going to measure
And people
up?
are
You're
asking me that. Why don't you do it part-time? I'm like, I am doing it part-time. I don't have
it's
time
not-
anymore.
You're not getting results.
I need to put more into it to get the results I want out of it. So
Okay.
anyways,
So you
that
made
was,
the list. So you
that
made the
was a
inventory.
long rant. Yeah. Now we're kind of at the point I quit my job. So I made the list, and then what did you want to know?
And then well, I was just trying to figure out like what exactly it was that held you back, and when was the what was the tipping point?
The real tipping point was the thing about integrity. So a few years back, I did the Landmark Forum, and they
Integrity.
drill in this idea of integrity, and I'm huge on that, right? Like your word is your bond. And if I said July 4th is my Independence Day, and I've been lying to myself, that's what you said. You've been lying for 28 days. Like, oh man, if I can't even keep my word to myself, I'm so out of integrity, and that
Yeah.
hurt. That was like stabbing me. I'm
So
like,
that was the worst. So that was the button.
that was the button.
the button
integrity. Like
When the pain
I'm lying
of
to my
staying in your job was more than the pain of
It's like,
quitting your job.
and how many more
No,
promises
but
will you break to yourself?
It's not even that. It's just keeping my word to myself. If I can't keep my promise to myself, like
Then
that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
So I gotta
that's a
fix
core.
that.
That's a
Yeah.
core level problem.
Yeah.
So that's amazing that you dealt with
So
it.
I went in Friday. I like I started packing up my stuff in the morning. I brought it home because I didn't know if I would get walked out. Or like sometimes at the bank, they're like, okay, you quick, give us your keys now, get out.
Yeah, thanks for the notice, but you're done today.
Yeah, exactly.
So you started packing
I thought
stuff.
that might happen.
Tell
I
me
put it in a bag. I walked home with all the stuff, and then I'm like,
so
today's the day.
This was that day.
I wrote the resignation letter at lunch. I just copied the old template from my old job, tweaked it a little, and walked back in. And then before I sat down at my desk, I'm like, I'm going straight to my manager.
Detail. So you come back to your office and you go straight to your manager. You have this letter in hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I sit down. I'm like, I'm. This is probably terrible. Like, this is bad news right now. But I'm giving my 2 weeks notice, and I just kind of handed him the envelope, and then I let him open it and read it, and he was so shocked. And my manager, well, this guy, originally I had a manager, and this guy's kind of between me and the guy who originally hired me. So he's only been there for like 2 months, and I've been helping him get up to speed at the bank, right?
Oh, wow.
So he was totally shocked, right? Like, he has no idea that I was gonna do this. And then I went and I also talked to the director, but they really had no idea, right? They were really shocked with it. So it was interesting because I was getting positive feedback and people liked the work that I was doing at the bank. And this is like,
this guy is doing such a great job.
I don't know if it was that good, but I mean, like, I was on the right path, and that's with kind of 1 foot over the fence, right?
Yeah.
I'm still like
1 foot in,
thinking
1 foot
about
out.
my business, but I still want to hang on to this security, and even just doing kind of a half-assed job. I'm doing a good job, and they were happy with that. So now I'm thinking like, wow, well, if I apply that to my business, like all in, what can happen? So, yeah.
And what was so? How did it feel as soon as it was all done?
It was. I thought I was gonna get buyer's remorse or something and be like, "Oh, are you crazy? What have you just done?" And go into some shocking state of depression. But it was like a load off my shoulders.
What about family and your wife? I mean, I'm sure a lot of people worry about, oh, what's my family going to think for pursuing this venture? My wife, she has to be on board. My friends, they got to be on board. How did it happen?
So there's 3 sections there. There's, well, wife, friends, and family. I think wife's a major section. So let me give that story first. Hannah's been like really supportive with the whole thing because 3 years ago she had a job she hated. She was in a terrible environment, totally miserable because her work was driving her insane. So she got her real estate license, yeah. And I know because I've met these people, like way worse than I had it. So anyways,
you were lucky compared to them.
Yeah, exactly. So she quit her job 3 years ago. The first year, it takes a little while to get started as a realtor, but she learned the business and she's doing a great job now. She's got lots of clients. She's making more money than I am, right? So within a 2 or 3 year time frame, she went into a totally new business.
And she's already
and just started, and she's already become very successful. Yeah, she is, right? Yeah. And
which is amazing.
And she's so much more happy, and I see that, and I want to be happier. That's the whole point. So she's a really good example. At the beginning, we were a little worried about finances and stuff.
But once I worried because now she's on 100% commission, and you gotta carry the burden of the steady.
Yeah, so it's like I hold down the steady paycheck, and then we're always fine no matter what. And basically, we were living off of one of our incomes and putting the rest into rental properties. Yeah. So it's not like we really, like, one of us could just quit for fun, and we just stopped buying rental properties. Right. So that's a good lesson.
Or you would just slow down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she was really supportive, and originally we were worried about the finances, but once I did the spreadsheet and saw how long we could last without doing a single deal, either of us, it was
and spreadsheets, eh?
I'm an analyst by nature. What can I say? But we realized both of us doing 0 deals, we can last almost a year. And with the amount of deals she's doing, what are the odds that her income's going to finally fall to 0?
Leave the country, come back, and then you're starting from scratch a year, after a year.
Pretty much.
You're starting from, jeez.
Without debt.
That's a huge...
Right? And then there's lines of credit and equity in houses and other things, right? There's a huge safety net.
Yeah.
So when I realized
the things that are within your control. So within your control was you can live for a year, and if you need to do more than that, you can leverage off something else. You can there's a line of credit. There's
pull out equity.
You can sell a property.
So
in terms of in your control, you had a ton of resources compared to what most people have.
Yes, like a stockpile. Like I was a hoarder of this huge safety net before I would even do it.
Yeah.
So that's the conservatism
Dude,
I get from my family.
So conservative.
Yeah, but old MacDonald grew up during the Great Depression
and
told me stories about how they had to go take pigs to the slaughterhouse but the amount they got for the pig barely paid for the gas to get there and back.
Wow.
And they're so
God.
struggling during the recession, right? And he's got 4 kids to feed and that kind of thing.
Jeez.
So that gets passed down to my dad. My dad's super conservative. He lost some money in the stock market before, so he takes this ultra conservative attitude of, okay, we're going to buy GICs and government bonds and maybe AAA. Like, maybe we'll buy some Loblaws, and that's as risky as it gets.
We'll buy
right?
some Loblaws. What's some
people,
RBC?
people always need food, right?
Yeah.
So that's about as risky as it gets, right? So that whole attitude and the idea of save and buy GICs and that kind of thing, that got passed down to me. So for me to quit my job is like out there. Right?
So what did your parents? So what did your parents? So what did your parents say?
Well, my mom's
you got
pretty,
your degree and like and
yeah.
so
So
you got this great job. You just got a pay raise 3 months ago.
Pretty big raise too, right? Which is a big part of the reason I did it, right?
So
I wanted to try
parentally, logically, they're thinking, what the hell? Is that what they're thinking? Like, what the hell's wrong with this kid?
So I think my mom kind of knows more. She's more like, okay, happiness is more important than money. She kind of gets that. My dad is like, what are you doing? Don't ever let go of this job. Like, it's so hard. There's so many people out there right now who are looking for a job and they can't find one.
Quit? He was telling
this
you?
was always before.
Oh, okay. Because you always talk about
after
it?
I quit, he's like, no. He's like, you didn't. And like, I'm sure I nearly gave him a heart attack, but then he got over it and now he's actually getting on board. And he's become really supportive of the whole idea. And he's like, well, how many deals do you think you can do? Can you do one a week? I'm like, it's not that easy.
That's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't need to do that many deals to replace my job income. And I think I can do more than that level.
So what do you think?
Plus, it's what I like.
How many deals is it?
To what? Replace my job income?
Is it like one every 2 months? Is it like
it depends on the size of the house. And you know how it works because we're in the same business. But I don't know, 6 or 7 a year, maybe.
6 or 7 a year. Okay, so that's like one every other month.
Yeah, my goal now is to get up to the level of one a month, get a nice steady flow going.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So that was that a hard hurdle, the parents?
Yeah, because
was it the hardest one to break the news to?
Sort of. I told you before I told them, but that's just usually because I talk to them in the evening.
Okay.
But it wasn't hard to break the news to them because I had been telling my dad for a while before, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. He's like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Yeah, and then I finally did it. But let's go into the third one. Friends are fantastic. Like, I have so many people in my life, like you guys. Like Mike,
on Facebook, your thing exploded.
Yeah, I had I think like 72
replies,
72 likes, and 50 comments within the first 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah,
my friends are all people who get this.
Tell people what you put on Facebook.
So I had this big picture, and I was looking for something. I like to do post with a picture because it packs more of a punch, right? This one really packed a punch, so it was something. It said, "Play it safe, quit your job," and it was just like this, right, on Facebook. Finger, yeah, it's like, that's it, I'm out.
Play it
right?
safe, quit your job, big letters.
Yeah. So the same day I did that, put that up on Facebook, and had so much positive support, like, "Oh, congratulations," and no one was like, "Are you crazy?" Everyone was like, "Oh, fantastic, awesome! I'm so happy for you. This is amazing news. I'm so glad to hear you finally did it."
Did anyone say finally?
Yeah, probably you. I think a lot of people are thinking it because all my friends knew that eventually I wanted to do this.
Well, you've been talking about it for a long
I've been talking
time.
and talking and talking. Yeah. And then at some point you just got to do it.
You just got to do it.
Otherwise you're out of integrity, and that's when it hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But so I have so many supportive friends. It's not just people on Facebook. It's my real life friends that I see all the time.
So we're saying about Facebook friends, not from
friends. As much time as I spend on there, I actually do have real friends. But for example, my business partner we started that mortgage broker with, he's still one of my best friends. The nanodots guy selling the crap out of them. Yeah, check out nanodots, they're awesome. But he's one of my great friends. Some of my investors even are friends. And I have all these positive examples of people who've quit from some sort of 9-to-5 corporate, very structured job, gone to become an entrepreneur, and they're happier, making more money, and just more fulfilled, right? So I have all these positive examples.
And does it mean that they're making like millions of dollars?
No, not even. I don't know anyone
driving Ferraris and things like that.
I don't know anyone who has a yacht with a helicopter pad, right? That's like the ultimate wealth example I keep using, but I don't know anyone like that.
If you want to start a Virgin,
but you just know all these people that are a lot happier.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what it's all about. So like I remember last year you were telling me about going down the Humber River in a raft that you rented.
And we bought these rafts.
Did you actually did it, right?
Yeah.
So you were telling me about that. I'm like, that's the fun kind of stupid stuff.
It was the middle of the week.
You could just do in the middle of the week when no one's around.
We took these inflatable beds and we bought one raft, and then we just went down the river and just
For
for like 3 hours.
It was like 6 hours.
No, 4 hours,
Dude. We were there for a long
4
time.
hours.
You're on
That would've been
you're
4 hours.
on like the largest lazy river ever. Who cares how long it took?
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a super super lazy river, but it was middle of the day,
Middle
of the week, the best thing.
Yeah. So another cool thing I realized is all stuff like that I really want to do. And when I look through my beliefs, it's things like that, or my vision, or whatever I want to do for non-rain people. But it was all simple stuff, like spending more time with people, playing sports. It wasn't the stuff that costs money. Like, yeah, there's a cottage in there that I want to have, and I want to get my pilot's license and have a small plane and stuff like that. But that's not even that expensive, and that's not where most of the happiness comes from.
You know what? A lot of that
It's from
stuff,
experiences.
like the big, huge things that you want to acquire, like they're not like right now. Like you probably don't need a helicopter.
No,
pad.
I don't even want a helicopter pad on a yacht. Like, why?
Yeah, maybe
Exactly.
20 years
Why?
from now, 30 years from now, maybe you're different, and your
maybe.
needs and wants will be different. But right now, what makes you happy, right?
Spending time with people. Like the most, I'd say the most fun I have is spending time with my friends and family or playing sports. Like I love playing squash and I love playing beach volleyball. When I'm at the beach. So here's the trade-off for this weekend. Either my wife's going to be putting an offer in, and I'm going to stay in Toronto, in which case I'm going to play beach volleyball, or I'm going to a cottage in Muskoka. Like either one is going to be fantastic, and I'm going to have a lot of fun. But it's like that. It's spending time with friends and family, being outdoors, playing sports, like whatever it is. It's just
We forgot
nice.
even to mention to fast forward to today. So you quit.
Oh, how
so you put your 2 weeks notice in. How long ago was that?
the Thursday before the long weekend.
Okay. So when is it? The 2 weeks?
Tomorrow's my last day.
Tomorrow's your last
Yeah.
day. That is amazing.
Yeah, so
So
the
they
wait
let you
just
stay the 2 weeks,
yeah, unfortunately.
unfortunately.
But
We should
no,
cheers
it's
to that,
it's good
man.
because to be fair, like I told them I wanted to come in and help them with the analytics and building this infrastructure and
Transition.
stuff. So to just leave and not transition anything, and I don't want to be like that, right? Like I really
Yeah.
believe a lot in karma, and it's
Yeah.
not how I want to leave. But today we did my going away lunch, and I was really surprised because they got, like, I didn't expect much, right? They got me a card. For the first time, they actually covered the lunch for everyone, because normally at this bank they've been making people pay for their own lunch for
Wow.
birthdays
Are
and
you kidding
celebrations.
me?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. We gotta
Such a big bank.
we gotta focus on cost control, okay? Because
Yeah.
all the other banks are growing at the same 20% a year.
Oh my god.
Anyways, they
Sorry,
did that.
3% a year. Like,
Yeah.
frig.
They did that. They got me a card. Everyone's giving me nice well wishes. It was like the same thing we did for the lady who was having a baby shower a few weeks ago, right? And they're
awesome.
giving me the same congratulations on quitting my job, right? So that was really
Aw,
nice.
man. And
And-
did they all know that you were not like going to another job?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
They knew it was
And they got me a pair of cufflinks as a going away present, and I was like,
that's pretty cool.
amazing. I didn't expect any of this, and I'm really grateful. And I offered them, I'm like, if there's anything I've done where you don't understand, I live 5 minutes away. I'm like, I'll come
Yeah.
back to the office and I'll show you how it works.
That's so
Because
good
now
of
I'm
you, man.
unemployed and like, well, I'm not unemployed. I have something
unemployed.
to do, but I mean, I have so much more freedom over my time to stop
You're
by the office and help.
fun-employed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fun
That's
employed.
He keeps calling it that.
Fun
Unemployed.
employment.
Fun employed.
Yeah, I got that from my sister-in-law.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Is
she
that what
went on
that's
a
what
like
she's labeling
she went
you
on
at?
like a 5-month fun employment trip around southern Asia.
Oh really?
Nice.
eh?
Yeah.
Sounds like something you're probably going to be doing soon. Something similar,
Yeah,
probably.
we'll see what happens.
So,
That's
are there
all.
any plans now that you are fun employed?
Well, tomorrow.
Well, we'll starting next week. So, starting next week.
Yeah. So what's your plan for Monday?
What's the plan? What is it you're going to do to get yourself into?
Here's some
this?
ideas, folks.
Yeah, so I've got a huge to-do list, right, for my business. There's all kinds of stuff I can do. But instead of going out and packing my day with 16 hours of business, because, oh my God, I've got to make some money, I'm just going to start living a more balanced life. So Monday, I'm going to hot yoga for the first time ever. I'm about a foot away from being able to touch my toes. I'm really
Are
unflexible.
you serious?
Yeah.
Can you please show everybody that you can't touch your
foot
toes?
away?
So that when you
Wow.
come back,
Embarrassing.
you come back
Yeah,
6 months
I'll come back
ago.
and show you the power of yoga. So
Is that the furthest?
Yeah,
But still,
that's it. That's what.
that's the furthest. That's
Yeah,
the
you're about a
furthest.
foot.
It's like locked. That's
Wow.
Yeah, you're about a foot.
yeah. It's terrible, right? And
That is terrible.
not getting any younger. So
I thought you said you're athletic.
I am, but I'm extremely unflexible.
Not flexible.
Yeah.
If you want to keep that athleticism going up until
Yeah,
your
I'm
30s
gonna
and
get,
40s, you're
like,
going to need to
joint
get
pain.
flexible.
I used to be like that, man.
Yeah.
This guy could always touch.
I could always
Your whole,
touch.
was it your whole
Yeah.
palm on the ground?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
So
flexible.
in my condo we have a steam room, and I really like the steam room. So I'm like, at least there's gonna be one part of it I like, and we'll see about the whole yoga thing.
Yeah,
But I don't know, it should be fun.
yeah.
So I'm gonna
Try
do
it
that.
on,
But
right?
I'm doing that in the middle of the day, right? because I can, which is awesome.
Which you've never had.
I've never been able to do that. Well,
Have
except
you
for
been
maybe
have you been
university.
working straight since
Yeah.
the last couple of years, like
Yeah.
without
I
real
had-
big breaks?
Yeah, no, I had a week or
Except
two
for your
off
honeymoon.
between jobs, and then I took a honeymoon for 2 weeks in
Other
October.
than that,
And aside from that, I've had no more than 2 weeks off at a time.
per year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh no, I had 3 weeks per year at my old job. I had 4 at this one, and the benefit is that I didn't use any of my vacation because I was on probation for the first 6 months. So for 2 weeks, I just get an extra paycheck. So
Oh, nice.
For the next 2 weeks.
yeah, good going away present, I guess.
There
I
you
get
go.
all my
You
vacation
get,
paid
you get
out.
paid for another 2
Yeah,
weeks.
so that was another unexpected bonus. I didn't even realize until after I had quit. And
That's nice of them.
And now that I quit, that was another thing. So they sent out the email saying that someone's leaving, right? And they always do that. And they say, okay, so this person is leaving us to go here, and we wish you all the best in your
Yeah.
future endeavors. In mine, it's like Andrew is leaving the business or leaving the bank to start a new business.
That's so cool.
And everyone comes by and they're so curious. They're
What
like,
is
this guy's like 26 and he's quitting my job, and I want to quit my job too. Like, what is he doing? So everyone's so curious.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
so I've been talking to people, and I probably already have 2 new investors out of it, which is totally unexpected. I
That's
never
just how
would
it
have.
becomes.
Yeah, I never would have thought that these people are interested, but they just came. They asked, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to be investing in real estate full time. Like I do rent to own, and that's the niche I work on. And they got to talking and saying, oh well, my wife and I have been wanting to invest in real estate for a while, or I did that X number of years ago and I want to get back into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then these conversations just start happening. So like I was saying, I thought I was going to have buyer's remorse, and by the time the last day came, I'd be like, please take me back. Can I stay? Like I don't know how I'm going to make money. I'm going to end up in the poorhouse and
Oh.
that kind of thing. And now as I get closer to leaving, things just start to fall into place, right? And you have to have that belief, and then it just starts to happen.
Yep.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
It all sounds so cheesy until you do it, and then you're like,
I know.
wow.
6 months ago,
Yeah.
could you have even imagined where
No.
you're at right now?
Not even 6. Like when I took the
Like,
job,
even a month
when I
ago?
took the job, which was 6 months less a week ago, I had no idea that I was going to be in this position 6 months from now. Like things were going pretty well.
You had no idea, even though July 4th was supposed to be your...
Yeah, because I didn't believe it.
Wow.
You didn't believe that you'd be leaving.
No. I had set that date, but I didn't believe I could do it that quickly.
Amazing.
And
Damn.
because I said it and I kept repeating it and I kept reading it every day,
So you mean...
it
So
started
the
to
solution
happen.
is to set it and forget it.
No,
Is that what
set
you
it
said?
and
No.
keep looking at it. Yeah. You don't just do the Belize at the Acre weekend and then never revisit your dreams again and hide it away in some closet while you go commute on the train for 2 hours and go to the job you hate and go home. That doesn't get you anywhere. You've got to focus on what you want and keep working
So
towards
talk
it.
a little bit about, because you're saying you revisit it consistently, constantly.
Mhm.
Talk a little bit about your morning ritual. Are you
Okay.
still doing that?
A lot of the time, yes, but I've actually been measuring it. So you
Okay.
guys put out the wellness checklist, and that's been a really good tool. So I started to measure it. It's kind of on and off, but I noticed when I'm doing it, I have a lot better days. So when I started tracking it, I realized that when I do all this stuff, it sets me up for a good day. So
Right.
why would I not do that all the time? So lately, I haven't been getting up at 6 a.m. all the time to work on my business because I see that, okay, I'm done my job soon. Like, I'm going to have plenty of time for that.
Yeah.
So I sleep in a little bit. But I've been doing all the other stuff and just continuing to build on this belief and going through the rituals.
So your morning ritual,
Really
talk a little
starts
bit
to
about
help.
what you're doing.
Okay.
Because so you're not waking up necessarily at 6 a.m. anymore.
Yeah.
You're going to be fun employed now, so you don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. So
Yeah.
you're waking up at 8, 8:30, something like that. What is it that you're doing? What are these things that you're doing consistently to revisit your goals and to set yourself up for the right day? What are those things?
Well, I'm still going to get up a little earlier. Like, just because I know the morning is my best time. That's when I do the best work. For now, we'll see what happens as it develops. That's because in the morning, I haven't gone to work yet, and I haven't been frustrated by the bureaucracy yet. So that's why the morning's the best time. Cheers, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
So I'll be getting up, fairly early. The first thing I do is look at my beliefs, like what's my vision and what do I really want, right? So originally I set it as a 5-year goal, and the key thing is you set it as a 5-year goal. You keep reading it. You can't change it. You can't keep pushing it out for 5 years and do nothing, right?
Yeah.
You have to stick to that and progress towards it. So I keep the goal or the vision in mind. I go through what my goals are for the next 12 months and the next 90 days, and I don't change them until the end of that cycle. And then the third thing that I started doing recently is affirmation. So I have about maybe 30 of them that I just read off, and that really helps to like drill in the belief.
And what kind of affirmations? What do you tell yourself? Do you look in the mirror when you do it? Do you do any? Do you say it out loud? Do you read it?
I'm still at my computer. I kind of like read it aloud in my head. Sometimes I'm even doing it while I'm at work. So I'm not going to sit at my desk and be like, I'm a positive and grateful person out loud, right? So everyone can hear. They'll be like, they would have probably fired me for being crazy by now. Yeah. It's all stuff about self-belief and being positive, and I have the talents to do this, and I'm confident, and I have all the resources I need, and that sort of thing. It's a lot of positive thinking. It sounds very woo-woo, but it puts you in a good mood and sets a good tone for the day. And then when you go out and start interacting with people, that comes through. And then the last thing, which I haven't really been doing all the time, is to meditate for 10 minutes. That's one of the ones that I've just been kind of pushing off. And I think it's sort of like the busy thing. It's like, oh, I'm so busy because I have a job and this, and I got to get my business going. I don't have time to sit here for 10 minutes and do nothing. This is stupid. Okay, on to the next one.
And now, starting Monday,
now I'm going to yoga for an hour.
Time to
just because, right? What else is in there? Another one was health related, right? So the green smoothies. Like, I hate eating vegetables, and we talked about this on the car, in the car. So I hate eating vegetables. I don't like eating fruits. I only like vegetables that aren't really good for you, like potatoes and stuff, right? So I started making So I started making the green smoothie. So I've got berries, bananas, kale, and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm doing that every day, right? Just to get that kind of nutrition going, and that's my breakfast, right? So that's, what is that, maybe 5 things, and that's a pretty good start to the day.
And you have 5, that's 5 out of 10 that's usually done by the first thing in the morning?
So those ones are pretty consistent. Some of the other ones are before, like how I end my day, right? So instead of waking up in the morning and now what, I try and plan out my day in advance. So I'll sit down and journal, say, what did I do well today? What didn't go so well? What can I improve? And that's kind of the self-knowledge you guys talk about a lot. So that one's kind of hit and miss whether or not I do that. But I always have a list of the things I want to get done the next day. And even if it's a simple thing, like fill out this benefit form so you can claim all the massages you got.
Did you take advantage of all those massages before you left?
Oh, I did.
Okay, good.
I'm a very well massaged piece of meat right now. Like, over the last week, I've been going almost 90 minutes a day, every other day.
Oh, nice.
What?
Yeah, so I've had...
So you're super relaxed right now.
I've had probably 9 to 10 hours of massage in the last 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god.
So that's helping me feel the entrepreneurial spirit. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
Amazing. I'm sleeping really
Just
well.
milking it, eh?
Yeah, and then I haven't been playing squash for a while because I actually broke my squash partner's leg. Sorry, Ritesh.
Dude, why are you so violent?
It was totally
now you're
accidental.
All confident, you believe in yourself.
Yeah,
doesn't
I'm
give
just
you the
gonna
right
go
to break people's
wreck
legs.
people. No, so we were playing. He did a drop shot into the front corner, and the two of us are pretty bad. We don't call enough lets while we're playing. Like if there's a danger or you can't get to the ball, you're supposed to just say let, and then you replay the point. But we always kind of we're like troopers. Like we just play through everything, and that's kind of how we play.
Yeah.
It's like street ball, you know.
So you both ran for it.
Well, no. So he dropped it, so it's my turn to hit it. So as he's coming back, I'm kind of going in to go for it. And as I did kind of the final lunge towards the ball, he stepped back into my path. So my knee hit him on the back of his leg, and I broke his fibula. So we didn't know it was broke.
Behind the shin?
Yeah, it's the smaller one in the back of your leg. So it's fairly common to break that. Yeah. So we didn't know for about a week. Like we thought it was just a bad Charlie horse down here. And then he went back because it was still hurting, and they did an X-ray, and it was broken. So I felt terrible.
It's a little break, a break from squash.
Yeah. So now I'm playing more tennis, which I haven't done since high school, and I like that as well. So Hannah just got into tennis, and now that's a good way for us to spend time together. Nice. So we just go out at night, grab a court. You know, if there's not one there, we just drive to another one. There's lots of courts around. We just find somewhere to play, and I don't know, just do it. So that's been my exercise for a little while, and it's like nice spending some more time with my wife, which is another thing that I can do now that I've quit.
And she works from home?
Yeah, she works from home. I work from home, and maybe we'll get sick of each other, but I don't think so.
You've never been in this situation before, ever?
No. Well, in university, we're pretty much always there.
People.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
Like you're grown up,
Yeah. So it's going to be fun, and we can do all these kind of like day trips that we wanted to do, but I was always like, well, I'm too busy here, and then on the weekend I have to do this for my business, and my relationships kind of got pushed aside. And I have so many friends that I'm saying are great supportive people, but I haven't had a lot of time to spend with them. Yeah. So now I just got to kind of catch up on all those relationships. So that alone is going to be great. And that's 40 hours a week of time that I gain back. That's like the biggest gift, because as you get older, you realize time's what's important, not
We talked about this
Not
on an
money
episode where
and
it's
anything
2,000
else.
hours a year
yeah.
that you're putting in. And then there's another, I think it's 80,000. If you're going to work 40 years, full time, 40 hours a week, that's like 80,000 hours. And like they say it takes 10,000 hours to master something.
Yeah.
If you're going to be at a job for 40 years,
You can master 8 of them.
you're going to master 8 of them. So
Crazy.
that's a lot of time. And you know
Especially
how like
if you
they
don't
say
like your job.
people in jail do time? That's sort of what it sounds like.
Yeah. That's it. So a lot of people equate the job to like jail, right? They're like, it
Yeah.
wraps
The
me up
golden
and
handcuffs.
prevents me from doing anything. And the longer you stay, the more perks there are to stay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of
So do you think
harder
okay,
and harder to leave. And I looked down the road and I thought, like,
If you keep
now
going
is the
down
time.
here-
Like, it's only going to get
Yeah.
harder.
do you see that? Do you think having a job is a bad thing? Do you think people who have a job are doing something wrong?
No.
Like, what do you?
Not at all. I think most people don't read Think and Grow Rich in university and start thinking about all this extra stuff that's out there
Mm-hmm.
and what else they can do.
But if they're not entrepreneurs, like they're, is there something wrong with them
No,
if they're not entrepreneurs?
not at all, right?
You
It's
still need
just
people
a,
that work at the bank, right?
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right?
Not everybody can be an entrepreneur.
So what do you
It's
think is the
gotta
difference
function.
between like people who are a slave to 9 to 5 and like what would you say to them? I guess because there's people out there who are just like they hate it, they dread it, and maybe they're not an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like what do you think it is? What's the problem there?
So people have started asking me, right? Because there's people at work and they don't like their job. They're not happy there and they want to leave. But they can't just leave, right? Because they have bills to pay, right? And they have kids and stuff. They're further along. They have more of this, I guess, responsibility that they have to cover, right? So they feel even more trapped than I am. And they don't have something on the side. They don't even know. Like, they haven't even started down this path of maybe being an entrepreneur. So what I tell them is, like, you guys can do this too, right? Like, if you don't like your job, you can change that. You can get out of it. You don't have to stay somewhere doing something you don't like just to pay the bills. But I don't advise them to just up and quit, because that's going to be really stressful for them, right? Like, they want to avoid stress. So what I've said to everyone is, here's a couple of books I read. Here's how I started. And you can do the same. And I tell them, if you want to do real estate, I'll tell you how I do it. I'll tell you everything. You can do it on your own. You don't even have to partner with me. I'll just explain to you, because I like real estate. I like helping people get started the same way people helped me get started. So I always just advise them, like, figure out what you like to do, figure out something on the side, and just kind of start something slowly. And eventually you'll be in a position to make the gap.
And it's not like, it's like, yeah, come and follow me and do what I'm doing. And
No.
this is the way to get out of your job. It's like, read these books, do some self-discovery.
Yeah.
From yourself.
Figure
yourself,
out
and then
what you like, right? Like, I like putting together real estate deals. Maybe you hate paperwork, you hate numbers, and real estate gives you a headache.
Maybe it's something else.
Maybe it's something else.
Or maybe it's just another job that you'll have more fun at. It won't even feel like a job.
Yeah, maybe it's something where you can actually apply the skills that you like using, right?
Yeah.
Like, some people are just in the wrong position, and that's why they hate it. It's not because having
Or the
a
wrong
job is bad
company,
for
or
them.
the wrong
Yeah,
country or the wrong city.
yeah.
And there's just something that's missing.
So it's not like entrepreneurs are like this breed up on a pedestal, and you have to be an entrepreneur to be happy and successful. Like, I've met a lot of people who like their jobs,
Yeah.
and those tend to be the higher up people in the organization, because they actually really like what they do and they're okay with having a job.
Did you used to think, like, because I was one of those people, I don't know if you were, I think you were too,
What's
who
that?
used to think that it was just the stupidest thing.
What?
Like
Having a
To
job?
have a job. To have a job. I used to think it was why would you have a job? That's so dumb. It makes
Yeah.
no sense. And then now it's like, no, it's so, like...
You're at where you're at in
yeah,
life, right?
You know
Like,
what you want is what you want, and your definition of success is your definition of success. And I was talking about how Mike Gillespie put something on Facebook, and he put, it's okay to be different.
yeah.
And then our friend Campbell Carroll right away commented, and he put, it's okay to be the same. And it's so true. It's like,
What's right for you?
Yeah.
what's right for you? And who
Maybe
the hell
you
am I
don't want to be
judge
different.
What's right and wrong, and what's good or bad? It's not up to me. It's
Yeah.
Doesn't
So,
matter
so
what I
this
think.
was one of the tangents we tried not to go off when we were chatting before, is whether you want to be the same or different. So when I was a kid, I got put into the gifted program in school, and to me that was terrible, right? It's like, oh, well, now people are saying, oh, you're different, right? Like, you're going on the short bus. That's like, you go with the disabled kids, pretty much the same school. So like, okay, you're going on the short bus, and you're different, right? Oh, gifty, haha, whatever, right? And at that point, I'm like in grade 3 and I'm thinking, this is terrible. I just made new friends at a new school. Then I get shipped off to this gifted school and they're all like, haha, gifty. Like, you know, you just want to fit in. So at that point, yeah. So at that point, all I wanted was to be normal. And like going through my life, probably up until university, it was all about fitting in and being normal, right? I didn't want to be different. Then when you start to get older and you look at how everyone else is and how they live their lives and how the average person lives their life, you're not thinking I want to be the same. Now you're starting to think, wait a minute, I want to be different like that other guy who has all the toys and who's happy and is doing something he loves, right? So the mindset totally switched for me. Yeah. Right? So at one point in my life, all I wanted was to be the same.
We all go through that in high school and school. We just want approval. We want to be loved, right? We don't want to be rejected. We don't want to be...
You don't want to be the weird one when you're a kid. I don't think anyone, when they're a kid, says, I want to be different. Every kid wants to fit in.
Yeah.
But it takes a little more realization and thinking once you're older to realize.
But it's not even like something different anymore. It's like, just be more yourself. You know, just be yourself. Be true to yourself.
Yeah.
And if it's different or if it's the same, doesn't really matter. But as long as it's really who you are, right?
You got to be self-accepting of yourself. Because I think, I look at it and I look at, you know, I think also the issue comes to it being just the system, the way it's set up. Like if you are going to regular school or if you're going to go into a regular job, yes, you want to be accepted. Then you look at the other thing, like I look at our kids, they're homeschooled. They are not in that system. So for them to want approval and to want acceptance, there is none of that. Because
it's kind of like a learned behavior to even want that.
Exactly. It's like a learned, and then same thing once you get out of the job and you're now an entrepreneur, you're not looking for any acceptance. It's self-acceptance. It's just yourself. So I think it is. I mean, if you are going to play that game, yeah, you are going to want to have that acceptance. You are going to want to fit in. But if you're not going to be in that system at all, if you're going to choose that route that's less traveled, it's really, do I accept myself? Am I happy with what I'm doing? Do I accept what I am and what I do? Right?
Because you're more comparing yourself now to yourself. Like, and who you were. Like, am I better than who I was like a month ago?
Yeah, and that's another measure of success, right? Instead of comparing yourself to someone with $100 million who maybe was born into money or something. Like, it's never a fair scale and everyone's life is different. It's like, just, are you better than who you were yesterday? And if you go back to the wellness tracking list, right, like you can see that. You can graph it out.
Yeah.
I actually did that.
I actually do that too.
I'm a big Excel nerd, so.
I know. But you know what? You see your high months and you see correlations. You're just like, wow, I was like 80, 90% those weeks.
And you look back to how productive you were and what you were doing and all that you're accomplishing, and there's a correlation for sure.
There's a direct correlation. Yeah. I'm glad you're doing it.
And that kind of spurs you on to keep tracking it and keep improving because you know that, okay, here's 10 things that if I do, help me be happy.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
You won't be happy. It'll just be on the next level.
Yeah. Whatever
Whatever
that is. Yeah.
That's the thing, right? It's a new level of happy. It's like
new level of happy.
Something happens or something like you take so much action, you move towards like what feels right for you. And you'll be like, holy crap, I didn't even know I could be this. Insert here, whatever, passionate, fulfilled, happy, grateful. You have never experienced those emotions at this level. It's just going to keep growing and expanding.
And you can just keep getting more of any of them.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
That's awesome, man.
Amazing.
Well, good for you. So it looks like the summer's going to end off really well for you.
Yeah, I think so.
So summer's not done yet.
Exactly. So I get more time to enjoy.
When are we going to get together and do some volleyball?
I don't know. Are you a big volleyball?
I love volleyball.
Fan? I don't know. Friday. I think Hannah's putting in an offer this weekend. So
this weekend?
Yeah. If you want to do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll probably be here any day of the week now.
Let's do it during the week because I like it during the week.
Okay.
During the week
when no one's there.
That's when we do everything. I mean,
okay, so we got to collect.
Wednesday mornings. We do Wednesday mornings.
Yeah. So my friends and I, we bought the beach volleyball kit 2 or 3 years ago. That was like our version of cheap summer fun. So I have the whole kit and everything downtown.
Awesome.
So we'll go to Ashbridges, just get 4 guys, like.
Do you by any chance have a bocce ball?
No.
Oh,
This guy's all about the
When I
bocce
grew
ball.
up, I grew up in Richmond Hill on this very Italian street, and
Yeah.
there was a bocce ball court in the park by our house.
that's amazing. What is it like? What's a bocce ball?
Oh, I don't know. Like
What's it made of? Is
I've
it
never even
gravel
played
or-
Grass, isn't it?
Grass?
Well,
Sand?
Do they have sand?
the
I thought it
one.
was gravel.
Yeah, the one in the park by our house was gravel, but I think properly it's like lawn bowling kind of. You just play on
Okay.
like a hard packed grass,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
like a golf green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man. So what else are you up to?
I
Are
don't
you,
know.
are you going anywhere? You got any trips lined up now that you have this all this free time?
Not yet. Not yet.
You're waiting until next
I'm
week.
sure
so
you're-
put-
you're
Well,
gonna- you're gonna-
originally I was gonna go away next week, and then because Hannah has this new client that she's working with, it's not good timing. So I'm just gonna start into the business and see how my day looks, and then maybe after a couple weeks I'll just take some time off, go up north for a week, just go to the cottage, disconnect, think, and
Enjoy the space.
yeah.
There's
That's
one
what
thing I
Mike and
recommend.
Joey have told me.
Yeah.
Like, don't go into it and pack your day with 16 hours of stuff. Like, enjoy the space, let yourself breathe, like think.
Transition slowly. You got to figure out what you want your schedule to look like.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the whole point of this,
And how
right?
much
It's
do
to
you wanna
create
work,
space.
right?
I don't.
Yeah,
It's not. I'm not
exactly.
quitting so I can work another 40 hours a week, right?
Yeah. You're quitting to be like, okay, this is what I want my life to be, and I have to design my business to support this life.
Exactly.
If
So
it's,
to be
I want to
happy.
work 10 months a year, 6 months a year, this is how I'm going to make it happen. And that's it. And you're just living by design instead of by default.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's a big one.
Totally.
But it's awesome. I mean, I look back to 3 years ago and how my mindset was then compared to now, and then I think like how great it can be 3 years further down the road, and it's a pretty
So
cool
in the last 12 months,
evolution.
In the last 12 months, it's been like start a new business, get married, honeymoon, do more deals, add more cash flow, get a new job, get a huge pay raise. And like it just wow.
Yeah.
Dude,
So-
that's,
so when-
that's a big year.
So when you put it like that, it sounds pretty good.
it's
but-
like
Yeah.
amazing, man.
But before I quit, I was always focusing on here's what I want and don't have. Not here's everything I did the last year and
Here's
holy
what I
crap,
want
that's
and
actually
don't-
pretty good.
You ungrateful bastard.
Yeah, for real.
Jeez, man.
So there's a lot to be thankful for, and that's like one of those. Oh, that was the other thing in the morning, right? For the rituals, the first thing is the gratitude,
What am I thankful for?
Yeah. and just start writing, and it's the
So
simplest
you write
thing
a couple
sometimes.
of things, or
Yeah.
10 things, or just a couple things?
I kind of write as if it's a journal. Like I'm
Okay,
thankful
like
for
a
this,
journal.
go on a little tangent, and I'm also thankful for this, and just till I feel like I'm done, and then I go on to the next one.
That's beautiful,
Wow,
man.
nice.
Yeah,
So that stuff works. Would you say it works?
it's starting to look like it.
It's starting to look like it appears as if.
Yeah, the hypothesis is
It's
Being proven.
to be right.
yeah.
Awesome, man.
So it's been like I guess a long time coming since I first read The Secret or not read it, watched it
Yeah.
when the video came out, and combined with all the books and the reading and journaling and self-awareness and actually thinking and doing things different now. It's been a
So-
long time coming.
How good will it feel to cross that out? Quitting my job.
I already did because
You already
once the notice is in, that's like
that's official.
It's out of my
already
control
out.
now, right? I've
Yeah.
done my part, and so on my 90
That's probably the biggest mountain you've crossed now.
yeah.
The biggest mountain you've climbed.
Yeah.
So what else are you doing right now? So you mentioned the books, the cash flow books, Kiyosaki books, the Think and Grow Rich. So what else are you reading now? So you mentioned you watched The Secret.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you doing to continue with self-development, self-growth? You have a coach.
Yeah.
You've got a couple coaches.
Yeah, so I'd say the biggest thing this year, and because I was so pressed on time, that it's kind of my self development is having a business coach. So this year I hired a business coach. The reasoning behind that was last year I was at a RAIN meeting, and they made this analogy of all the best athletes have a coach, right? So if you want to get to world class in anything or be really good at it, you need a coach. And there's this whole idea of having a third party observer looking at you and telling you what you're doing wrong. So when I started golfing, I had a coach analyzing my swing and saying, here's where you need help, here's what you need to do. And I got much better at golf very quickly by having someone else help me.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, okay, here's my business, here's the pace it's going at, and what if I get a coach, right? Like I was kind of getting stuck, right? I'm like, okay, it's going slowly, but what could it be if I got a coach and I had someone helping me focus the limited amount of time I had to work on it within the constraint of having a job? what could my business look like with a coach. So I hired Mike Gillespie and Joey Ragona.
Who've been on the show?
Yeah, who've been on the show before. So that's what
Only
I was
good
watching.
people on the show.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a whole bunch of other people, like I said on Facebook, like Terry's episode.
There's a lot of shout outs. You need to do this right now.
Do you want me to just do this now?
You need to do it right now because you're already there.
Okay, hi Mom, hi Dad, hi Hannah, when you watch this on YouTube. But in terms of people who are on the show, Mike and Joey were my business coaches, and
how influential were they, and what was the biggest positive impact you've gotten from the coaching?
Well, like huge in terms of
mindset.
So having someone, like, not just a coach but a fan, like someone pushing you along, showing you all the good things you're doing, and really encouraging you, and then also someone looking at it and saying, well, here's what you can do better, and just calling you on your crap. You're like, you're doing this, you're wasting all your time here, this isn't working, why are you doing that, right? And they ask you the hard questions, and sometimes you want to, as Joey says, throw a brick at his head. But I've never had that feeling. It's always like it's more of a welcome thing to get that constructive feedback, because I know at the end of the day, when I listen to it, it works, and when I resist it, it doesn't. Right? So having someone out there who can see what you're doing,
just
and
do what
help
they say,
you,
damn it.
yeah. So when you have someone that can help you like that, it's really valuable. So I had to pay for it, but the results kind of speak for themselves.
So shout outs to Mike.
So shout outs to Mike, shout outs to Joey, shout outs to Terry as well. Like, he was on the show before.
Tillard.
Yeah. I haven't even met him in person, but that guy pushed my buttons when he was
fire,
on here.
Man.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
what was it? What was it that pushed your buttons?
You guys are talking a lot about self-knowledge and self-love, right? So all the decisions you're making, what you're putting into your body, how you're spending your time, who you're spending your time with, all this kind of stuff. And then relating back to my life, it's like, okay, well, I'm eating pretty good. I'm in pretty good shape right now. But how am I spending my time? And what am I doing with my life
with
right
who?
now? With my life.
And with your life. And,
Yeah.
and what are you putting in your head? And what
Exactly.
that kind of
So
stuff?
that kind of stuff, and just some of the...
How'd that make you angry?
The rabbit
how
hole
did that
things.
get you
Because it was
on
pushing
fire?
on me. It's like I know there's this potential, but I'm not letting it out. I'm being conservative. I'm playing it safe, and I don't
Doesn't
know.
do anyone good.
It just really pushed my buttons and got me thinking a lot. And then when we met for lunch, I was in this really contemplative zone,
Yeah.
and you had that final dagger for me.
Usually I'm pretty nice, like I'm gentle.
Yeah, no, but
you
you're
let me
honest.
go-
You're
you
honest.
let me go there though. That's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
did.
You gave me the permission to go there, and that's when that is my true self.
Yeah.
That's what you told me too.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I like.
He told me he really laid into you.
Good.
And that's my true, like, uninhibited
Good.
what I would say to myself. What I was saying to you.
No, but
That's
these
what I
are
was saying to
the
myself.
kind of people I have in my life, and the kind of people I want. So I have friends. We've done business together, and like for the mortgage brokerage, for example, everything's done on a handshake. And I know that's not the way to do things, but I have this level of trust
Yeah,
with
but
people
that
in my
level of
life, and it's
integrity.
worked out. And when it comes to cover, like in a case where something bad happens and it comes to covering a loss, that's what I said I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to do, right? So
Exactly.
all those friendships remain intact regardless of having
Because of
a contract
the
or
work.
not. Yeah,
And then it came down to, what is your word to yourself?
exactly. And the next day, resignation letter. It's that important.
That's amazing.
But as you were saying, it's important to open up when you have a business coach, right? Because you can pay all the money you want to someone, but if you're not going to listen to them,
yeah.
what's the point? So I started
'Cause
asking
the whole
myself.
thing is, you might not agree with everything they say. You might
They're
not
not-
agree with
yeah.
everything that they're doing, but you're paying them the money.
Yeah.
At least try it. At least
Yeah.
do
Well,
exactly what they're
Yeah,
telling
you don't
do.
have to agree with everything, right? And they might not even be right on everything, but
Yeah.
they're offering suggestions.
But do it.
Yeah. So I was asking myself again, like, I'm paying all this money to have a business coach to tell me what to do with like 2 hours a day of my time when I'm home and can work on my business. That's not very good value. But
Yeah.
if I'm paying them to tell me what to do with 8 hours a day plus those 2 hours, or not even, because I'm just going to relax.
Yeah, you're
But
probably,
if I'm paying them
you'll
to
probably
tell
do
me,
20, 30 hours a week.
sure, but that's a whole lot more time where they can actually guide me and
Yeah.
help me do really well with my business.
And you'll have a lot more to draw from. I guess you'll have more data,
Yeah.
and they'll have more stuff to reflect on you.
Yeah.
Because right now, like, how much exposure, like, are you getting into your business? You don't know everything that's happening in your business.
No.
Like, you can't see it from end to end. Now that you have more time, you're gonna have more. I'm just saying, be ready for more problems.
Yeah, that's okay. Mo time, mo problems.
Yeah.
That's okay though.
Yeah.
And that's how
New
you learn,
problems,
right?
bigger problems, better problems.
And every problem is a challenge, and everything you go through makes you stronger, and you learn more and stuff, right? So that's That's been the case.
That's what it's all about, guys. Learning more and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can do that
Quote
by
MacDonald.
and you can do that by journaling and
Just
stuff.
learn more and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Just
journal
do more
and
stuff.
Yeah.
Do things.
Well, but another important thing is to do less stuff, right? When you try and pack so much stuff in, like I got to the point where I was trying to
less
schedule
stuff.
people for 15-minute phone calls. And like now I'm like, that's crazy. Like, and it's because I was so stressed out about how much time I had because of the job. It's ridiculous, but when you're in your zone and your way of thinking,
I'll tell you, one of the best
how
things
you
that I enjoy is being able to spend like 3 to 4 hours with like the most amazing people.
Yeah.
Like at a time. So it's like you're having a lunch, boom, easily 4 hours fly by. Dinner, 4 hours fly by because you're just with like the coolest
like
people. And I think like that type of influence, oh my god, man, it's gonna take you to levels you don't even get it like right now.
I know.
You shouldn't even try and imagine it. You should just do what feels right right now because just like
you just go
like
and experience it. Just go do it, experience. Like you said, it's all about the experiences. You just go and experience them.
And that's what I've been trying to do because before I was so in my head and trying to overthink and plan 3 years down the road of what will happen if I make this decision. And I'm like, now, what's the right decision? What makes sense? What feels right? Okay, just do it. And another thing with the quitting the job is what's the worst that can happen? And that was a question that Mike kept asking me. And so when I figured out that the worst that could happen is I spend a year and I'm still not in debt, and I go back and get another job, I'm like, oh, that's not so bad.
I meant zero.
I bought one less property and
you've been chilling for a whole year.
Yeah, and had fun.
Maintained the same lifestyle and better.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Man. That's the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
Yeah. And I guess the worst thing that can happen, you can just go back to your old job.
Yeah.
Or a similar job. Make the same amount of money.
Yeah.
A year later, catch back up very quickly.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, even after
that's
a
not
year,
so bad.
Even after a year, you're still getting that cash flow too, right? So that doesn't the cash flow doesn't stop.
No.
Nope.
Well, it does. It does when the tenant eventually buys out, and I have to find a new deal. That's just how rent-to-own works. But I'm okay with that. So I was likening it today to the idea of how hard is it to get a raise at work, right? Like to get a $10,000 raise. How hard is that? And most people are working.
How hard is it? I don't even know.
I don't know. Most people are working their ass off, and most people I talk to are frustrated because they're not getting paid enough. They're not getting raises, and they're not getting ahead as fast as they want. And that was a big thing for me. So with rent to own, I buy one more property, I get about $10,000 of passive income every year. So every time I buy a property, I give myself a $10,000 raise.
Yeah.
And the more I buy, the more money I get to give myself raises.
Oh my
right?
God.
Like it's so much easier to do this than to
work
at a job
or
and depend on someone else. And the bigger the organization, the harder it is, right? Because it's got to go through all these approvals, and each department has their budget and whatever. And it's not about rewarding the rock stars. It's just about, okay, here's the guideline, and it's 3%.
So,
yeah.
And
oh, great! I keep up with
inflation.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'm getting ahead so fast.
GICs are worse than inflation too.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the inflation they report is different from the real inflation.
Because it doesn't include
It doesn't include anything new. So
and it doesn't include energy either, right?
Yeah. So it includes the inflation index for 3 years ago includes the price of an iPod, but no one wants an iPod. You want an iPad or a MacBook or whatever, right? There's new things, right? Like I don't want an 8-track cassette player anymore, even though that costs 50 cents now. I want a CD player because that's what comes in a car today.
Yeah.
So they don't account for any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the food and the gas parts are skewed, and
it's a poor measurement of inflation.
Yeah.
Right.
That's their system.
Exactly.
That's their
so system. How when you guys quit your jobs, how long did it take you to kind of you had one.
I had one.
But how long did it take you to kind of get up and running with your new business? Did you have something on the side, or did you just say, I'm out?
We so what happened with me, I guess you can go after me. But what happened with me is that the Rent Busters was already open, like for business, but we weren't doing very much because we both had jobs.
We both did. Yeah.
It's a time thing, right?
Chris exited his job first, and he can elaborate more. I had a job in a small business with just me and one or two other people, and it was a small startup company. And it got to a point where like I got my license, and from the time I got my license to the point that that I was full time, I just dreaded every single moment. The first 6 months of a job, exciting.
It's like a honeymoon.
New
Right?
honeymoon
great.
phase,
Yeah.
totally. Eventually, I just didn't like it. So I hated it so much, and my employers were very nice, and they're friends, right? I'm friends of the family, but what ended up happening was because I had the new business and I got my real estate license, I was taking time off. I was not showing up because I was looking at houses or meeting people, taking time away, and I didn't have that opportunity like you did to hand a resignation. I was kicked out of my job. Like I was let go because the wording was somewhere along the lines of, we know you have your real estate business and that's what you're passionate about. We need this type of we need a full-time committed person in this job because it's, we're not making any money. It's,
and it's a small business too,
small
right?
business, a startup business, and you're just going to be more happy doing what you want anyways. And the first thing that came out of my mouth after maybe she was talking for about 4 or 5 minutes, I was just like, thank you.
Yeah.
I needed that. I needed
you
that
wanted
push.
the push, right?
I'm you don't realize how much I needed exactly what you're telling me. And then as soon as I left, it took about a month before the first deal came about. And that was super quick.
It was almost like that's what I was waiting for at one point. I remember at my previous job, I had a manager who I didn't get along with, and at one point I was so frustrated and just wanted to leave and do my own business. This was back when I was doing the Rentables, which was an online rental search website. But I wanted to leave so badly, I actually asked if I could just be put on EI. I'm like, can you just lay me off so I can at least collect, unemployment insurance? Yeah. And now this time around, people are telling me like, oh, you should have tried to get laid off and do all this stuff. And I'm like, I don't care. This is what I want to do. I want to do my business. I don't care. I don't want EI. I don't need any pity salary or anything. I'm just going to go do this.
Yeah.
So
screw it.
I just got over it. Yeah.
It's more than money at this point. It's more than money at this point.
It's that inner fire.
I was let go in August. No, wait. September. The early September of 2009. 2009. And we did the first deal before the end of that month.
Yeah. So we were already working on that. Because I know with me, I had started a new job at the beginning of the year. Like the second week of January. Something like that. And I was in that job for 3 months? Through March, I think the end of March is I think when I left. And that's when I started to work on our business a little more. But it wasn't until he left where we actually got the first deal. Mm-hmm. So it was March, April, May, June, July, August. So so about 6 months later.
Chris left his job and was just like, you know what, now there's no way I'm going back to a job now.
Yeah.
That was my last job. That's it.
But once you both left,
that's where
good
really
things started to fall into place.
Yeah. Once we were both out,
and
that's two pieces of the puzzle, right? He was out there. He's on it like semi full time, right? But it's like without me, there's not, together we had this crazy combination of, I was the sales, Chris was fulfillment, he got shit done, I got shit started.
Yeah, he was the front end and I was the back end. So
without one we
didn't really have the other
completion, right?
It's peanut butter jelly. The JV.
Peanut butter
the win-win.
Yeah. Really, right? So literally within 4 weeks we did our first deal.
What the hell did I do for 6 months?
The first 6 months we did eight or 9 deals.
Yeah,
the first year was better than the second year.
Yeah.
Because of just the motivation and
same
everything was new and we were curious. And the second year we were just thinking too hard, I think.
Yeah.
But it's the dip, right? You start off,
demanding it.
Results come quick.
From ourselves.
It's like the dip. You start off, results come quick, you get super excited.
Yeah.
Then it starts to take a lot of work.
Yeah.
Right? And you get discouraged, and that's when you want to quit, and you get all depressed, and that's when a lot of people give up.
We were thinking too much about the business instead of actually doing the business.
Yeah.
The second year.
I'm totally an analyst, right? So
yeah, we overanalyze.
I overanalyze everything.
Yeah, we did.
And I'm worse than you guys. Because that's my job. I get paid to overanalyze.
Yeah.
Or I used to.
Yeah.
So let us know. Well, we'll keep in the loop for that second year to make sure that doesn't happen to you.
Yeah.
Because
but
it was way too much about we need to do the business this way so we can grow it this way, and it wasn't
Don't worry
we
so
need
much
to work
about
on the business.
that. Yeah.
We don't need to worry about how the business looks or how it's growing. It's like we need just to do the fucking business.
Yeah, it's like a lot of real estate investors when they start worrying about should I incorporate and all these like little details that don't really matter. Just go buy your first property in your name and then worry about that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe there's some tax consequences. Maybe you don't need a corporation. Just go buy something.
Businesses are all
Yeah.
revenue driven,
Yeah,
not business plan.
exactly. That's the
driven.
first part of the cycle, right? So
Yeah.
too many people let themselves get stuck, I think. But anyways, with the second year, hiring a business coach is an important decision, right? Because it helps push me through that. So when the results are slow to come and it takes a lot of work and everything, there's someone there saying, okay, good things are coming. Look at all this stuff you've done and here's what we're going to
Seeds
do.
are
And here's,
planted.
and here's how we're going to get you through it. And this is how you're going to, build the business. And when you have someone else helping you with that kind of stuff and helping you see that vision,
And a lot of people try to
Helps a lot.
self-coach and
Yeah.
try to depend on themselves.
yeah,
Like, at least have accountability partners.
yeah, good luck.
Or a mastermind group, something where people are keeping you accountable and you're sharing and you're trying to get some assistance, some support.
Yeah.
You try to do it
'cause
by
we
yourself.
had each other. We had each other, and then Michelle came on board, so we're the three of us, and then we had our mastermind who
Yeah.
kept us accountable.
But even then, that's three of you that are in that business together, right? Like you always need someone, you always need someone external who can play the role of
Outside,
observer and just say
yeah.
like, what the hell are you doing? You're doing this all wrong. Like from the outside, you look like a bunch of idiots. Like here's how you should be doing things.
I think
and sometimes you
need
want
to
hear,
know when you look like an idiot. It's
Yeah.
important.
but
You should know.
sometimes you don't. So
Sometimes, yeah.
having someone else outside telling you what that is, it really helps.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
good point. Good
So
point.
what else is going on for you outside of business and making money and real estate?
I just
Like, what's new and exciting in your
more
life?
time to relax. Like last time I went out to play volleyball was like the best session I've had for a long time. I was getting nice sets from my buddy Ravi, shout outs, and just pounding them away, having a great time. I've been playing more
The show's
tennis.
not for shoutouts.
You told me to do the
I
shout
was
out
just-
list
I'm
and
just
then
kidding.
you interrupted me and I didn't even finish my shout out list.
Okay, finish the shout out list.
Who else was there? Mohammed was on here before, so I've talked to him a lot just in terms of mindset and coaching and whether or not I should get into that. And so he helped push me in the right direction with that.
Awesome.
So shout outs to Mohammed. Who else was on here? Ian Zabo, same thing. When I was looking into getting started with a coach, I was talking to him a lot because I saw how much he had been growing and stuff. And I got a free copy of his book in some contest, so that was pretty cool. So shout outs to Ian.
Nice.
Awesome.
Who else is there? In terms of people on the show, I think that covers it. I did the hi mom, hi dad. Got my wife
Hi,
covered.
Hannah, yeah.
Now, you started with that one.
Yeah, I'm good.
That's
Good,
awesome.
good.
So that's it for shout outs. But
So what's the next goal for you? Is there anything new that you want to learn? Languages, sports, hobbies, activities.
I'm kind of getting back into tennis now.
Yeah.
So in high school, I was on the tennis team, and I really liked playing tennis. So now that I broke my squash partner's leg, that's kind of my that's my replay.
That's
Oh,
just
and
gonna
shout outs.
sound funny forever.
Oh, I know.
Every time we listen to this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Throw
shout
that throw that in the highlights reel. But yeah, shout outs to Ritesh. I hope you're getting better quickly, and we can get back to the court.
So I want to talk a little bit about the goals again. So because you mentioned that you don't change your goals until the timeline's done, or I guess
Yeah.
until you've achieved it. So with I guess some of these goals now that you've been achieved, how are your goals changing? So what are some new things that are now going to be going on the list? So exiting job is already done, right? So
Yep.
you're going to start spending more time with people. You're going to start having a more fulfilling life, touching your toes in yoga. So are those the kind of things that are going up on the goal list now? Or, what kind of things do you have now? I mean, now that you are a entrepreneur, you have that time. What is going to fill that time?
So mostly it's been business goals up until this point because I really didn't have much time for other stuff, so I wasn't setting goals like that. But through like the wellness tracking list, I'm actually tracking stuff like, am I eating those green smoothies? Am I doing my rituals? Am I taking 10 minutes to meditate and stuff like that? So finishing all those things is a goal every day. In terms of 12-month goals, those are mostly financial, but I have one on there that's about friends and family. So it was spending more time being present with people, not just
Being with people.
there.
It's
Like,
being
oh, okay,
present.
yeah, we're on a date and I'm at Starbucks working on my laptop on my business. Like, that's not quality time. That's not being present. So there's goals around spending more present quality time with friends and family. And then in terms of 90-day goals, I've broken them down a little bit mostly 90-day goals are business. Like, I mean, the 12-month goal to spend more quality time with people, I've already just started doing it, right? It's just something I have there to remind me. And that makes me happy. And now that I have the time, I don't even really need so much of a reminder. For 90-day goals, I just take the 12-month business goals and break it down. And I say, what do I have to do in the next 90 days to get me towards that 12-month goal? And then I take those 90-day goals and break them down into what do I really want to get done this month. So last month it was all the rent-to-own videos. So now every day I'm putting out a new rent-to-own video on frequently asked or should ask questions. Yeah. And that was my goal last month. I put all those together. And then I break it down into weekly goals, and I have my accountability list, and I say, okay, Joey, here's what I'm doing for the week. And by the end of the week, even if I end up doing it like Sunday night at 1 a.m, I get that done because I said I'm going to get it done. Yeah. Right. And it could be it could be simple. It could take all week. Some weeks I know I have more time than others, so I kind of plan out the week accordingly.
Now you're gonna have a ton of free time.
Just break it down and keep taking that 5-year plan, break it down to 1 year, then break that down to 90 days. What do you got to do to get to the 1 year? Go another step and break it down to monthly goals. What's important for this month to get to that 90-day goal? Go even further. What am I doing this week? And then what am I doing today?
How attached are you to your goals?
Well, I've taken some drastic steps, so I'd say I'm pretty attached, but you don't always hit exactly what you're going to get. Sometimes you overachieve and sometimes you underachieve, but having that direction and that focus, that's kind of what's important. So I wouldn't say I'm super attached to the actual outcome. For the moon. Yeah.
But you'll always end up with the stars,
shoot
right?
For the however that one goes.
Shoot for the moon, yeah.
Is it shoot for the moon or the stars?
Shoot for the moon.
Shoot for the moon. And you'll
land in the stars,
you'll still always end up with the stars. Yeah, with the stars.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, so something like that, and that's just kind of a good guiding principle. But it's the journey, right? So you want to be progressing, moving forward, just getting closer to your goals. So however that works, like breaking them down. For me, I like breaking it down. Some people, they can just set one thing and see it 5 years in space and just go towards it, and that works for them.
Are you open to testing this?
Sure.
So we're gonna have you on again, obviously.
Okay.
And let's say it's 3 to 6 months from now.
Yeah.
What could we expect from you 3 to 6 months from now that we can go back?
That's fantastic. We should do this with everybody.
Yeah, and go back and
you got the hot seat here. It's getting real.
See if you're full of crap or if you are actually doing what you say.
Yeah.
So 3 to 6 months from now, like let's say 1 business related, 1 life related, 1 health related.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Good.
All right.
Business. That's always the easiest one. Is it like a financial? How many deals?
I don't even know. I don't know what the capacity increases to now that I'm done with the job or whatever. But
be bold.
Well, so my 12-month goal, because I've been constrained with my job, is starting to look like a stretch at this point. So my goal was to get to the level of 1 deal a month. So 6 months, 6 transactions.
6 transactions. Though that could all happen in the last month. By the way,
it could,
but
but I'm gonna try and spread it out.
I don't think it's gonna be. Let's say 3 months, because I don't think it's gonna be. We're not gonna have you 6 months, right? We'll have you on in the next 3 months. 6 months is a little too long.
Okay,
so 3 months.
Well, I think it would be a little backloaded, so let's say 2 in the next 3 months.
2 deals in the next 3 months.
I think that's reasonable.
Business, yeah,
okay, business, good. 2 deals. Write that down, everybody.
Okay.
Publicly accountable.
Yeah. Life.
This is like having a free business coach. This is great. I come here, I get to drink beer with you guys. You make me set goals, challenge myself. I love it. Okay, so life. What do you mean in terms of like just relationships, happiness, whatever I'm doing?
Whatever you want. It's you. It's your life.
It's your life.
But it's so hard to set a goal on some of this intangible stuff.
Yeah, it could be having a deeper relationship with.
Yeah.
So
take a vacation with Hannah.
But let me do a more measurable one, which is life stuff. 80% on the wellness.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay. So like list. What, average over 3 months?
Yeah, the average.
That's trust me, dude, that is not easy. Depending on what you're putting on your list.
Okay, well, I'll show you the list.
Okay.
And I think
so. What have you been averaging? Let's say the past 3 months, past 6 months.
Like 30%.
Okay,
yeah.
80
has been your average.
Good.
Yeah.
So 80%. So you want to close the gap.
I'm gonna 50%. More than double it. But a lot of it is time dependent. Like I don't meditate for 10 minutes because I gotta I gotta go. I'm in such a rush.
Whatever.
All
We
the
don't care
time.
about what your excuses were.
Yeah.
Just
So I can double it.
Okay, so 80
Yeah,
80%
no
on
BS.
80% average on the wellness checklist.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
that's nice.
health.
Health wise.
I got a good
Health?
health one. You got to touch your toes in 3 months.
Yeah.
Is that you? So you
That's
did all the
doable.
the CanFit Pro courses and stuff. Is that doable?
That's doable,
Dude,
yeah, definitely.
You
doable.
remember,
Really?
right? Before I did yoga, I couldn't touch my toes.
Because I had people telling me it would take at least a year before I would be able to do it, even
No,
if I
man,
stretch
if
every
you're
day.
doing yoga
If you're doing hot
consistently,
yoga, yeah.
you'll
If
be
you do
able to
hot
touch your
yoga.
toes.
Yoga in general.
Even after
There's a lot of hamstring work.
even
right?
after 6 90-minute massages in the last 2 weeks, my massage guy, like, he'll stretch
He's still
at
saying
the
you're
end, and
stiff
he's
and
like,
stuff?
your hamstrings are ridiculously tight. So
It's because you're sitting all the time. You're
Yeah.
driving,
Yeah.
you're sitting, you're lazy at no.
I do what I can. And then I squeeze in the squash because it's the most intense exercise you
Yeah.
can do.
So we got 2 deals the next 3 months, 80% average on the well-being checklist in the next 3 months, and then the last one being
health related, touching your toes.
touching your toes. How far is it right now? Like a foot?
He's about a foot.
We did it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
at
like
least
a foot.
at least
You're about a foot.
Okay.
at least.
I think you'll be able to touch your toes.
Okay.
I think so too.
You guys have more experience with that. Like you couldn't
I
when you
couldn't
started
touch my
yoga, right?
toes.
So how long did it take you?
A couple months.
But how far were you? Were you a foot?
I was like a foot away.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I was like this. I was like in the middle of my shin.
And how often were you doing it?
Yoga once a week.
Okay. I'll go more if I have
Yeah,
to.
if you do it more, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever it is, man. Whatever it is, that's what you're shooting for.
That's fun.
And then
That's-
you're gonna come
that is-
back,
that's
and
good.
we're gonna remember this, and
We're
talk
gonna
about it.
do another test here on the camera, and I'll
Yeah, I'll do it in front
touch
of
my
everybody.
toes, and you'll make sure I'm not bending my knees to cheat.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
easy. We can do that.
All right.
That's awesome, man. I
So you
like
can
that.
touch your toes now, yeah?
I can touch my toes.
Okay.
I can touch it.
Can you go palm?
Pardon me? Like I don't know if anyone will see it, but this is me.
Okay, yes.
I can put 5 fingers.
You can
on
put
it.
5
That's
fingers
pretty
down.
If I'm stretched, I could put like my fingers like this, like that.
That's good.
But before I was like this.
Yeah.
So next time we'll do the show in a steam room so that my
In a
muscles
steam
are nice and loose and I can actually.
Yeah, okay. We're not
can
gonna
actually
we're
get
not
there.
gonna rely on trickery
Okay.
for our audience, okay?
Okay, Mike. Yes, legit goals.
Yeah.
You can stretch a little before the show. How about
Okay.
that?
Yeah, you need to warm up.
You can warm
and
up a
then,
little.
and then we'll do the test. So that'll be the first
Jumping
thing we
jacks, couple downward dogs, and then
do. That'll be the first thing we do when you come back on.
Well, I put it out there. So last time you guys pushed me was my first rent to own deal, and you're like, you're gonna do it in 6 weeks.
Did I say that?
You did, and I
That's-
was
yeah, why?
like, no,
You said that?
that was our
6
that was
weeks,
our
eh?
guarantee.
yeah.
Oh
And I
my
was like,
God,
no,
that's
I was like,
awesome.
no, how is this even possible? No way. And I remember I had to get on
That's
the,
so unreasonable.
I had to get on the,
That's 6 weeks. Like, okay.
yeah,
sorry,
but you're
go.
like, okay, well, yeah, we can do it. Like, you can do it. Here's the checklist and here's everything. So I didn't even know it was unreasonable.
That's how. Yeah.
So I
that's-
adopted
presented
the goal.
to you like it was nothing.
Yeah, you present it like it was easy,
Yeah.
right? So if you're like,
That
you
was-
should be able to touch your toes
That
next
was
week.
trickery.
Maybe I could do it. It was good
sorry,
trickery.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
It wasn't trickery.
Doing
It's
your first
possible.
deal in 6 months.
Well, I did it.
Closing the first deal is a little unreasonable.
Okay, yeah.
But getting
Yeah.
it
Maybe a
done
firm
and
deal.
But getting it started.
So
yeah.
when I'm saying 2 transactions, I mean firm transactions, right?
Yeah,
Like,
like
I don't know
going
how long
firm.
closing
Conditions.
is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Going firm in 6 weeks is not unreasonable. Like closing that was
Of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course not.
Yeah.
that was amazing.
So how did the so 6 weeks? How did the first week? Yeah.
When
per
when
week, what happened?
when I did that,
Yeah.
well, you guys kind of had the checklist. You set me up with what was it, like 37 signals you had set up
Yeah.
in there. So I went in and it's like, all right, well, where am I going to find leads, right? So you gave me the broker scripts. You're like, call these mortgage brokers, and I got warm leads because I don't like cold calling. Like, I'm shy, right? I don't like
Yeah.
that. So I got some warm leads. I got people to refer me. I said, hey, so-and-so recommended you, and, do you have any, what was the script? It's like, do you currently work with alternative lenders?
Yeah,
Something along
something like
those
that,
lines. And
yeah.
then I'd see what they said, and then I'd say, have you ever considered rent to own? And kind of go through, explain the benefits a little bit, tell them how they get paid, and start a conversation with the mortgage broker. So some of them I played phone tag because I was at my job. Some of them I actually got a hold of, and that's where I got my first deal. So I think, I don't know, I'd maybe talked to 5 to 10 brokers. I think I connected with maybe 5, and the first guy sent me the first deal. And the first deal turned out to be a home run deal. Like it's one of the best deals I've ever done.
You've ever done.
Yeah. And before that, I was working on rento and going directly to the tenants, and I would get people wanting to buy a $400,000 house with $30,000 of household income.
Oh
and
God.
What? No.
They're dreamers.
Yeah, there's no way, right? So you would go through like 100 applicants and not find one decent
So how
tenant.
soon was it before when you got the lead for that deal? When did you get the lead? Like 3 weeks
away.
in, or
Like 2 weeks maybe?
2 weeks in?
Yeah.
And then
like
the
I had talked to the
process
guy the first week. I was like, okay, now I got to put some stuff together. I didn't even have stuff to send. So I'm like, okay, I got to make stuff with my logo. Oh crap, I got to make a logo, right? So I just started full out. I put it together, sent it off, and then probably a week later he said, hey, I think I have someone who fits your program.
That's awesome.
And that was it. We started working with this guy. He fit all the criteria, went through the checklist. And I was really nervous to do the deal. I'm like, this is insane. I'm doing a deal with like the first guy. Like, do I have no standards or something? And you're like, no, this is a great deal. Like, it meets all the checklist stuff. So I didn't know it was possible, but you put it out there and it is. It's like July 4th. I didn't think it was possible. I put it out there. I missed it by 4 weeks, but
yeah. But still, you know what?
I put myself in the position without even knowing how I was going to do
I
it.
remember that deal.
Plus
I
or
was
minus
going
a couple weeks.
Ohio. I think it was in Niagara Falls, and I called you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was like, I didn't know anything, and Oliver's like, "We'll talk to Chris. He does that stuff." And
I remember that. Yeah, that was right the first week.
That's exciting, man.
Yeah, so that was quick.
Was
so I got the biggest shout out has to be to you guys. I mean, you got me started in this business that's allowed me to create enough passive income to quit my job. So you guys already know that.
Rock on, man.
Aloha.
That's what we're here for.
I like to shout out anyway.
That's our job, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Well, congratulations. It looks like you got a lot of stuff on the go, and you have a lot of things ahead of you, and we're going to keep you accountable on...
Yeah, well, less things, actually.
Forward.
I've really got rid of a lot of extra stuff and just said no to things, because I'd always say yes and take on more and think that would get me to success. Yeah, now I'm like, that's what I'm good at. That's what I'm going to focus on. That's what I want to do.
So what do you think you need? What do you think you need help with now? Like, so you're leaving your job. I'm sure you got to be thinking about okay, what do I need now? Now that you have all this time and space, like you must be thinking about okay, like how am I going to fill my time, my schedule? Who do I talk to about this and that? And like, I'm sure there's a couple of things that you need to figure out. Like, what's my routine going to be? How many months of the year do I want to work? Like, what are you thinking about? What's in your head?
Well, I've always been too concerned with that. So I'm trying to be less concerned with that. You told me give less of a shit. I'm trying to give less of a shit, right? So
I didn't say give less of a shit, but it's okay.
What did you say?
I said less. Yeah, it's okay. We're good.
Something like that.
It was a little bit more obscene.
Okay, yeah, even more obscene. Okay, so really pushing the buttons. But I'm going to just go into it, not plan it too much. Just start to do it, see how my day looks, and just do what I like. And good ideas will come. And I'm not the type of person where it's like, okay, I quit my job, so I'm just going to sit around and do nothing all day. Like, I'm driven and ambitious. Yeah, I know, but I know not to do that.
Do some.
Oh, I will. I'm going for yoga in the middle of the day because I got to touch my toes in 3 months.
You need that contrast. You know, you need to know what it feels like to do dick all day. Yeah. And you already know what it's like to have 18-hour days. You want to have that happy medium.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to fill it up too much. Obviously, that's why I have coaches, right? So I'll be able to talk to them. They'll help me through it and figure out.
We can go for coffee. We can go for beers in the middle of the day now.
Yeah. We can go do stuff and there's no lineup because everyone else is at their job.
I know. Yeah. There you go.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Well, that's what awesome. That's what we do on Saturday or Wednesday mornings and Friday mornings.
We go for hikes. We go paddleboarding.
Yeah, I always see all this stuff. It's like you go do it during the middle of the week. I'm like, oh, I can't take a vacation day. I got to save them all till the end of the year.
And that's the thing. Like even just shopping too, right? Like if you want to like do some shopping, like if you want to go to the States or something like that, middle of the week is when we go.
Yeah, you don't go on Friday and wait at the border with everyone else.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. So there's a lot of advantages to it, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
So originally I was going to come on like a week ago, right, when I had just done it. And I think that would have been good. But now is even better because I'm so close to the end. There's no buyer's remorse. I'm getting more and more excited. The pieces are falling into place. And I have 1 day left, so
And
One more
tomorrow,
day.
We'll
and
see what it
tomorrow's
looks
it.
like. Yeah,
That's it.
that's it.
Are you gonna show up late? Are you gonna
No.
Are you gonna put kick me signs on people?
No.
Or are you gonna
So because
paintball? No paintball gun?
no
Like Ari
marching
Gold?
band,
No. Ari?
none of that. Like everyone I worked with was super nice about it, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to be super nice with them as well.
Oh, for sure.
And it's always good to leave on a high note. The other thing is a couple of people who I never expected started asking about real estate, right?
So you're gonna follow up with them.
So
and-
follow up with them, keep
like-
building those relationships,
hey,
see
when
if
are
they
you-
really
like,
want to do
when-
that.
What lunch are you free? And I'll meet up with you. And
Yeah. and I live 5 minutes away from my office right now,
Oh, okay.
so I can
So you
just
can
walk over
stay
for
in
coffee
contact.
anytime. Yeah, it's
Easy.
perfect.
That's so
That's
wicked,
great.
man.
Well, this has been a fantastic show for our audience because this is, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of you out there.
This is a real case
that
study.
Yeah.
This is where they want to be. They want to be one more day at work, handed in their resignation letter 2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
About to jump
living
in
the
the
dream, just escaping the
With
9 to
both
5.
escaping. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is
So it is
perfect timing.
doable. I mean, 3 years ago, I had absolutely no idea how this would be possible when I first started investing in real estate. A year ago, I still didn't know how I was going to get my cash flow to
A
that
month
point.
ago?
A month ago, I still didn't know when I was going to quit. I knew eventually I wanted to do it,
Mm-hmm.
but keep
No,
focusing
things
on
got
the
real,
right
though,
things,
really
and
quickly.
things get real, and you can get it done.
Yeah.
So that was it. It was setting that date and keeping committed to it daily, reading your beliefs daily, and just moving forward towards it.
Yeah, set it and don't forget it, and then get really real on what you want in your life, right? And be aware that you can consciously design your own life the way you want it. It doesn't have to be this 9 to 5 thing that you don't like. If you don't like that, you can change it, right? There's always something you can do.
There's always a choice.
It's up to you.
Well, like, do you think there was ever a point where you felt like you just had to do your job, and like it wasn't a choice?
Yeah. But then I realized that's all up here. Like
Yeah,
I was
that's
letting
all- yes.
myself I was letting myself get trapped because I had to qualify for mortgages, and in order to do that I had to have a job.
Yeah.
And I had to keep buying properties in order to get to financial freedom someday. Now it's like, well, I don't need a job because now my wife's doing well. We can put stuff in her name, and I work with partners, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't need the job anymore. And if
So
that's
it's a
what's
change in
holding me back,
perspective.
yeah, and it's all up here.
Mm-hmm.
It's mindset, right? That's
And you know, this
90%
is something
of
you
it.
decided on this years ago.
Yeah.
This was this like if you
Well, yeah, I told my whole life story, right? You go way back and see,
it was
It's
a
always-
decision
there's
from
always been a
long time
seed.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and keep focusing on what you want, and
But you made
It
that
comes
choice.
about.
You make that choice, and eventually the opportunities come towards you that help you get towards the result that you're looking for.
Yeah.
And in this case, you could have chosen to just ignore them.
and it's not always easy. You got to put your hand up and step forward. So I put my hand up. I said, I'm shy. I put my hand up. I said, I want to learn to do rent-own. And then I put my hand up and delivered
Yeah.
a resignation letter and said, I'm taking this scary step. I'm
Mhm.
getting away from the paycheck, and I'm going to make it work on my own.
So it's taking advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah, when they're there, you got to
Yeah.
act. But you have to know what you want in
You gotta know
order
what you
to
want.
act. And then you
Mhm.
start to see, okay, this is...
So you don't necessarily need to know how it's going to happen. You just have to know. You have to know what you want, so that when those opportunities come, you can take them.
Exactly. So
Fantastic.
once you have the vision in mind and you start to take action towards it, it all comes together. But you got to believe, and
Gotta believe.
that's why that inner work is important.
So if you're gonna tell somebody who's watching this, who might be, they're in their job, they are they have a part-time business, whatever it is, they're dreading work every single day. They don't like their surroundings. What can you say to them? Because you are like literally just a few steps ahead of them on the same journey, and you are someone that they can directly relate to because you're still in there, and you're just about to leave your job.
One
Yeah.
more day.
And
Yeah.
because the whole thing is, you right now you don't realize it, but you're a portal by which other people can see what's possible for themselves and their
Yeah.
life, and that's huge. That's a huge compliment, by the way. So what would you say to them?
Well, first of all, thanks. And second of all, I would say you really just have to continue to believe in yourself. So at some point, I had this thing on the side, but I didn't have enough belief that I could make it work and all the pieces would line up for me. And then I got real about all the things I had to be grateful for, all the things I had already accomplished, and kind of in touch with my own power and what I'm actually capable of. And when I did that, I saw so much more potential that I'm not using, and that kind of triggered it for me, right? So keep focusing on all the things you have to be grateful for. Keep focusing on all the great things that you can do, and really just keep that vision in mind until you make it happen. So just don't let your eye off of it, right? Because a lot of people get discouraged and they say,
and they give
it's
up on
too
it.
far away, I don't know if I can do it, and it's taking too long, right? But that's the dip, right? Like, read The Dip by Seth Godin and you'll realize what that's all about, and the best things come to those who push through that.
So it's just really, really believe.
It's all belief. Like, start with the inner work, start with getting your head right, and good things will come.
And it's a process.
Yeah.
So any other books? So you mentioned The Dip, Seth Godin.
Yeah.
You watched The Secret. Any other books you're reading currently, or any other
that were inspirational?
That were pivotal books for your journey.
I think this is more of a rabbit hole for most people than anything, but I read Atlas Shrugged a long time ago. It's about 1,300 pages.
Yeah. I need to read that still.
Yeah.
I saw part 1 of the movie.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this fall for part 2.
Are they doing it?
Have you read the book though?
I haven't read the book.
Okay.
I read the first quarter.
So you don't know the ending yet.
I don't know the ending.
But it's all about being a producer versus a consumer. And too many people in our society, they have this entitlement mentality and they just want to consume and they want everything. But you got to put value out there for people first, right? So I read that in university. That was really pivotal. Pivotal. Yeah, it's not basketball.
It's a thing. It's a thing.
Yeah, it's stuff, right? But anyways, I read that, and that kind of drilled in this idea of you've got to be a producer. You got to put value out in the world. Don't be reliant on other people. Just make things happen for yourself. And I think anyone can really do that. Just focus on what you want and keep working towards it. Take some scary steps that you know are the right steps, and just push through it, and you'll get there.
Yeah. So Atlas Shrugged. Anything else?
Rich Dad Poor Dad, as we said. This Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Outwitting the Devil is a new one.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
How amazing is that book?
Yeah, I don't know if that so much would help people get started. Maybe it would, because you start to realize how people are programmed today and why you think the way you think.
It helps you see the system.
Yeah, and how you get
people
stuck
realize,
in that.
I think after reading that book, for me, I could feel the possibility of things getting better.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's like, wow, it's gonna really wake people up and have them starting to think about, how could things get better? How could we improve things? And like, we shouldn't just stick to it. If this book was written like 70, 80 years ago, and it's directly correlated to what's happening right now, things really haven't changed that much.
Yeah.
So we got to start
saying something
do
about
something
it,
about
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I think that one was pretty cool. It wasn't really pivotable for me because I read it after I was already on this journey. Like, I had read Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad Poor Dad so long ago, they kind of got me started. But I'd say, yeah, those two were the most important to getting started.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, we should wrap this thing up.
Yeah. So I'll see you in 3 months. We'll see if we can, if I can touch my toes, if I have a couple firm deals, and how I'm doing on wellness.
Yeah, we'll keep you accountable. Our audience will keep you accountable. And yeah, we're looking forward to having you back on the show, dude.
Yeah, excited.
Where can people find you?
Okay, so my personal website is Andrew C. MacDonald, not like the McDonald's, like old MacDonald. So Andrew C. MacDonald.com. My Facebook is facebook.com/Andrew C. MacDonald. Twitter.com/Andrew C. MacD. And my company website, of course, is ownershipsolutions.ca. That one spells itself.
That's it.
And that's it.
That's it.
Fantastic.
Awesome, man.
We're good?
Yeah, we're
Anything
good.
else?
All right, buddy.
I think that's it. Thanks very much for having me on, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much for coming on.
Can't believe you let me yabber for 2 hours already, but I hope it helps some people escape the 9 to 5. And
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? I think there's a ton of value and there's a lot to learn from your story. And I'm sure we're going to start hearing about people's responses very soon.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I mean, testament, watching the show, doing the right things, people out there that get the lesson, man.
Yeah,
watch the show,
exactly.
read the books.
This could
get
be
in that
you,
mindset.
like you're a viewer. You watch the show.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
One
working
more
with
day.
you're working with people who've been on the show as your coach.
Yeah.
And you've worked with us on stuff as well. So I mean, it's
Yeah. Ask these guys, get involved in the network,
You're like
connect
the
with great
prototype.
people, and good things happen.
yeah.
That's the way it goes.
Awesome,
Yeah.
man. All right, buddy.
Cool.
Congratulations.
Thank
We
you
should
very
do
much.
a final
Thank you, sir.
little cheers if you guys got a little bit more.
Oh,
Exactly.
I'm empty.
Congratulations
It's all right.
on tomorrow, man.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Cheers.
Done.
For those of you who have not already, make sure to like our page on Facebook. That's when we're updating. It's that's when we're telling everybody when the show is on. So as soon as we put the link up, then we're hot, we're live, and all the future guests, we're gonna let you know who's gonna be coming up on the show. So make sure to like the page on Facebook, Holistic Entrepreneur, and all the full episodes are available on YouTube.com/Meridius Media with no commercials. And
You can catch us live on Ustream.
live on Ustream every week, every Thursday around 8 p.m. I think next week's gonna be a little different.
We've got a special treat next week.
I'm
Are we
gonna
do it live?
Yeah, we're gonna try.
We're gonna try to do it live?
we're gonna do Ustream live next Thursday. I'm
Are
gonna
we gonna
be.
tell? We're gonna drop it, or are we just gonna do it live? Let the audience see it.
Yeah. Make sure you tune in live on Thursday.
live.
It's gonna be.
Special treat next week.
It's gonna be a fun one, and just keep an eye out on that one. And what else is there? You can find me on Facebook, Oliver Manolis,
Christopher G. Lim.
and that's
Twitter,
it.
Christopher G. Lim.
It's the Holistic Entrepreneur Live. Make sure to share, like, comment. If you're getting value from this, we want to hear from you.
Yeah,
That's really
it's
the
the
big thing.
encouragement to keep going.
Yeah, that's what
Absolutely.
keeps us going.
Yeah.
Your positive feedback is what keeps us going. So make sure you do it.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll see you guys soon.
Cool.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Take care, guys.